Hello and welcome to the Longines Royal International Horse Show here at Hickstead, where today it's Ladies' Day. We've had a fantastic few days show jumping here so far this week, and it's set to continue today as we bring you not one but two glasses from right here in the International Arena. The Queen Elizabeth II Cup and a little later on the British Speed Classic. A great lineup of riders for both, and someone who I know is definitely looking forward to seeing all the action unfold is British show jumper James Fisher. James, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. You've just been walking the course for the Queen Elizabeth II. How's it looking out there?
Well, every course in here is big. It means something every time you come in this arena. This is going to be a good challenge. There's 26 starters, a mixture of horses, some that are a bit familiar with the arena, others that are maybe sort of a bit inexperienced or haven't had the opportunity. So it's always very interesting. There's a very sort of mixed bunch of all sorts. But it's a great class to win. 8 years now it's been for men and women. I sort of always remember Queen Elizabeth, just with the girls in it. So it's has a different sort of complexion on it, but a heavyweight class to have a good old go at.
It does have a lot of prestige attached to it. Last year, Chloe Winchester, a very young rider, took everyone by surprise and picked up a victory here. Do you reckon we might see another surprise like that today, looking at how the course is?
That's the nice thing about this competition. It does throw up different winners. And Chloe last year, with Valkyrie, she really did have a good horse and was going well. She's got a different ride today, so I'm sure there's a good chance we see a winner that we perhaps wouldn't have predicted. But it's a tough course out there. You need a really good on-song horse. Helen Treadwell's got a very nice horse, Sebastian. That's something that I would perhaps look at today. Very good on the national and international circuit.
Interesting, plenty of great runners and riders today. James, I'm going to let you scurry off up to the commentary box. You're going to be spending most of your time this afternoon, and in the meantime we'll hand you over to our other commentator for today, Adam Cromarty, who can explain the rules for the Queen Elizabeth II Cup.
Well, thank you, Hannah. Yes, it's going to be a fantastic afternoon. Such great international sport to look forward to a little bit later. But first, we start with the national sports and the Semblance Events Queen Elizabeth II Cup. We are under national rules here this afternoon. It's table A7, so mainly a jump-off competition. In the first round, really concentrating on staying clear, getting home within that time lies. And then any tie for first place will take us to a single jump-off against the clock, where time will break all ties. James Fisher has run up the steps. James, good afternoon. Great to have you here. Going to be a good one.
I think so. It's a great mix of horses and riders, as usual. Karen Nicol is the pathfinder today on quite a young horse. We've got some really nice combinations. Jessie Dray's got a very, very nice horse that she's been going well with. We've got Max Routledge, always has a tidy horse to ride. Robert Whitaker, Tracy Priest, fantastic on the national circuit this year. Jo Clayton, Julie Andrews has been off. This is a bit of a comeback to her. She's had a broken leg. And Holly Smith, Holly Gillett, a slightly different ride for her, but she's always very successful in this ring. And of course, right at the end, we've got Shane Breen, William Funnell, Nicole Pavitt. They're going to be very, very strong contenders in this class today. David Simpson, Helen Treadwell, she'd be my sort of pick. I wouldn't say an outside pick, because most people that know that she's been very successful this year. Tim Stockdale's, after yesterday's Nations Cup, he'll have lots of confidence. Anthony Condon at the end there, also in the Nations Cup, did brilliantly, and will surely be a one to beat over this 12 fence track. And it's a pretty, I suppose, in relation to the starters, it's always tough at Hickstead. If your horse isn't used to it, it's even tougher. So I think it looks about right, what he's built today. The water is a big feature in it. Again, we've got, we'll have a look at that, in a few minutes. But, if your horse is at all worried about this arena and the water, then you've got your work cut out. But there'll be a few in here that are pretty slick, and I think we'll get, hopefully, a nice amount of clears, like 7-8 clears, hopefully.
It's going to be a fantastic one here this afternoon. We hear the fanfare in the background. We get underway. It is Karen Nickel who's our first to go in the 2016 edition of the Templance Events Queen Elizabeth II Cup. She's been ranking up the air miles. She's just back from the Young Horse Show in Valkenswaard. And it is just a young one that she brings forward. It's the Belgian-bred 7-year-old Jaguar van de Bervehoven. And Karen Nickel who gets us underway. She's produced lots of nice horses over the years, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has, and this is a big ask for a 7-year-old. And I just spoke to Karen. She also suggested that perhaps it's a little bit tired just on today, and she'll have to sort of see how it goes over the first few fences, because not too many people would actually present a 7-year-old stallion in this. So she's quite brave to move the horse up to this level, but yeah, she's very experienced and it's always got a lovely horse. So we see number 1, the Oxer, and slightly up the hill to number 2, not really too much of a related distance. Time allowed is always an issue in this course, so you're going to go sort of getting lost on the corners. Very square Oxer, and she's at the front rail of that, but that to me looked a very, very sort of square fence. 8 strides to the water.
There's a fit in the water as well, I think.
Yeah, and 7 strides if you keep going to the following fence.
Great education for a young horse, this one.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So there's so much content in this arena for a young horse. Nicely over the plank. Not the easiest to roll, but there in front of the intake. And then diagonally across the arena, got a triple bar. Just got stuck in the air over that. That's a little bit of greenness coming in. Didn't quite make the 5 strides to the fence 8 vertical. The combination I walked very long. It's a long 1 stride to the middle and 2 strides to sort of recover coming out, and then there, sort of leading up to the final line, we've got this gate which is in 2 halves, 6 strides to a double, 1 stride, a little bit long for Karen there, and a bit of an unusual last fence hook back to this vertical, and 88. 89.2. So just a time fault. Yeah, I think probably the time, judging by that, looks sort of all right. She was really giving the horse a lot of nursing going around the ring, but overall I think she'll be quite pleased with that round.
Yeah, I think so, and as you say, just for a young horse, it's a great education, a lot of atmosphere here. You just saw just a little touch on the front there as it came in, but really bloomed over there and then has it down.
You don't get to see too many triple bars as gappy as that on the national circuit, so that's something that would have made the horse back off. And the Oxer, which I said before the water, you sort of want to get momentum for the water, and in doing so you can just have the front rail.
Jay Hallam in reverse, then he gets us away with this one. Just to cover the title, last year it's by Nagano, it's called Elron. Jay Hallam, who's been representing Great Britain on a couple of occasions already this year. He's found the forward gears and gets underway. Big personality is Jay.
Yeah, Jay's very busy with all sorts of things when he's at a show, and was helping Jem Ellison yesterday to win the Fox Hunter second round qualifier here in the outside ring, so he's always doing something, and he is a big personality.
You find that, don't you, with those at the top end of the sport? When they're here, they're not just concentrating on their own horses, they are training, they are got their business interests as well.
Yeah.
Little splash.
Yeah, a horse just backed off all the way to that water. And one thing leads to another, then your strides don't really work out to the following fronts, but that's why the course builder lays these things out to catch you. Yeah, big set of planks. So it's a difficult course to judge at the moment. This is the second one in, and 2 horses that wouldn't be really ultra experienced at doing this type of track.
Although it's a national competition, really this would be classed as an international track, I think. You wouldn't see, you could see this anywhere in the world, this type of track.
Yeah, there's nothing easy in Hickstead. It gets easier when your horse is familiar with the ring. And in this class, we'll see horses that are not particularly familiar with it, and it's a very big occasion for them. And it's not just about the jumps, it's just about the whole scene.
So 29 in total then, 91.72 is the time. It's 24 jumping and 5 time, of course, time very much part of the test here, 87 seconds. We're looking at them travelling about 400 metres a minute, which is about 24 kilometres an hour, so they really have to be moving forward and they have to keep a consistent speed. Just a little bit kind of tappy at the front. So that was
I think when horses aren't particularly sure of what they're doing, they sometimes just lead out with one foot, and that's what you saw there.
Well, this could be one to watch. We saw at Surrey during the area trial, had a fantastic victory there. She featured in the Derby trial with his very horses, won by touchdown. The ground touched the stars, and Jessie Dray coming forward. Got a great string at the moment.
Yes, she has. She's really had a great season so far. She was second in the international trial at New Forest just a few days ago, and it's really a great partnership with this horse. It was in Ireland in the auction actually.
This one
for her, yeah. I think it's the auction that Dougie Douglas was sold in.
I think there was a lot of eyes on that auction.
That's right. No, it's something that's starting to happen generally in Europe, and a good thing for the sport, I'm sure.
I actually feel old. I remember Jessie on 138.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that stage in life and I'm starting to feel old.
Well, that's what gives these riders sort of the grounding. They're doing sort of 128, 138. They've got so much really experience through ponies and young riders.
First part coming down there.
Yeah. It looks very, very upright as you come in to that combination, and you just know that you need one big stride to jump the middle. Okay, for time.
Yeah, to be fair, she made the time look easy. A little bit unlucky, just taking the one rail down. Finishes on the 4:82.39. The best we've seen so far here in this Simpson events. Queen Elizabeth II Cup, but a really strong field at 26 combinations in total advertised to come.
Yeah, Jessie made that look quite relaxed. I don't know, the horse had that down behind, not in front, so I don't think she could have done a lot about that, really.
Yeah, it was a nice round, to be fair.
She made the horse look very jumpable.
Here's Louise then. We can see the first of the two Pavitt sisters that will feature in the competition here this afternoon. Louise Pavitt and Chamberlain Z, the horse owned by David Simpson. Louise, another one that's a very prominent feature on the national circuit, internationally as well now, of course.
Yeah, this horse has had a few different riders and unbelievably talented, but slightly checkered history. It can be brilliant, and it has been a little bit naughty in its career, but a real character. And now 15 years old. David McPherson rode this horse a few years ago, and it was sold to Tim Gredley. Now Louise will be very happy to have got the water out of the way, because that was something that she was half concerned about.
Yeah, clears the water.
But Tim Gredley had this horse for a couple of seasons, and then I think David Simpson rode it a little bit before Louise, so had a few different riders. But you can see the quality that this horse has got. It's got a real talent. A little back off there at the triple bar.
You often find the good ones have got a bit of personality.
Definitely, yeah.
We can see that there. Recovers well.
Yeah, but you can see why this horse has been so good in its past. It's got a real technique. Just there's always that fine line when they're like that they can just be a little bit cheeky sometimes. And there you are. She'll be annoyed about that, because she said that she's not, touch wood sort of thing. She's not really had any issues with this horse for quite a long time, and I think she had jumped really the hardest part of this course. Just backing off a little bit, you see.
Jumps it nicely second time. That is so frustrating for her.
Yeah, you could just see that just towards the end, the horse was just making it a little bit sticky for Louise. And it's probably the fact that he tried so hard through the combination. Absolutely fantastic technique and jump. And just turning up the hill just didn't have the same, just didn't really take her the same. And
no. Straight
ran
outside
yeah.
door. Well, in the end there for Louise Pavitt, it is a total of 8. Of course, under nationals here, so it was just 4 for jumping, but the time faults, they elapse at 1 for every second, or part thereof, over the time allowed under national rules, and that brings her total up to 18. We continue on to a combination that have already had wins at 130 level this month. It is the 12-year-old Crystal van der Helzet and Alexandra Coates. Little stop at the first there.
Yeah, it's not the start that you need, is it?
No.
Long journey for Alexandra. She's come up all the way from Street, so near Glastonbury, and it's had this horse a long time. It's I think a 12-year-old now, and she's had it since it was a little foal, and
That's it.
bit of a disappointing time for her today, because a lot of riders look forward to this occasion, and she wouldn't have anticipated that whatsoever, so I don't know really what that was about. Certainly not what we would expect from this horse.
So, I mean, if you were riding this, what's the plan? Go back home now and...
Yeah, you've just got to drop back. You sometimes the horses perhaps have had a funny experience, a show before, prior to that, and or it's a build-up of things, and they actually need a smaller track rather than go into a big arena like this. But this arena is challenging, and sometimes you have to take Hickstead completely in a different perspective as anywhere else that you jump.
A lot left to come. 5 gone so far. The best we've seen sitting on 4 fault. Here's Max Routledge now with Caris Royale. One that's owned by Linda Cars, making his approach now.
Yeah, Max is used to riding all sorts of different horses, and a great polar rider. He's just a great all-round horseman, and produces many horses. And you don't often see him on anything that's not up to the job, so be interesting to see how he tackles this track.
He's had some real good success with this one, and hopefully we might be about to see our first clear here at the Templeton Events Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Or not. Just a little tappy behind there, and caught the plank on the way out.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual. I mean, the Gospelers do use that little loop back. I think it's a harder loop back when it's in front of the chute into the ring, so it's done for that reason, really. But the riders here on the balcony will be thinking that there perhaps won't be so many clears. It's a difficult one to judge, but fences are falling all over the place at the moment.
I don't know if he's about to retire. Yeah, he gives a signal to the jury then and decides to call it a day. Max Routledge there retiring with Caris Royale. And I suppose as a rider, you've got to make that decision. If you're on a young horse, you might just keep going and give it a school. But for something like this, it's got a little bit of experience. He jumps another few fences and chooses to save it for another day, probably.
I think so. You sort of you'd rather sort of retire than go through the finish with a lot of faults. You're not going to win anything, and you're still in one piece. So it's sometimes just a wise thing. Just put your hand up and come on out. So.
Well, to this Breen Equestrian Limited now in this one, a 12-year-old bred in the Netherlands, and with this horse we saw Chloe Breen feature top 5 at Bullsworth. Featured here during the Derby as well. It is Chloe Breen and Zidane the 8th on home turf.
Yeah, some people watching will always think that's an advantage, but
no, never.
It's not quite like that when you're actually in the ring. In addition to that, with Chloe, she's a busy mum, and it's not easy to combine both. So this is a big occasion for her.
In the water.
Yeah, just a bit gingerly, all the way down that line. That line, even though the horse that can jump it it just unsettles them a little bit for the rest of the course. It just takes them out of their rhythm.
I think, yeah, we've had that confirmed as well. Chloe Breen has elected to retire with Zydeine. Gives the horse a pat and thinks, well, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the thing with this Queen Elizabeth. You know that we do have a real mix of horses, and you know they're experienced really, and I think this is why it's an interesting class. You just see the reaction of horses that they're up and coming and just not used to this arena. It has a different sort of complexion to it completely to perhaps one of the international classes that we saw, well, like the Nations Cup yesterday, where you just expect horses to go around and have maybe just the odd fault. Here you just see a slightly different look to it completely. This horse should be a little bit more relaxed in this arena, and Robert thinks a lot of this horse, so this is one perhaps we might see go and be the first clear.
Yeah, Robert Whitaker and Crash Scent, of course. Everyone knows Robert. They know the Whitaker family. Started computing at the age of 8. And of course, now has his own family as well. When he was out walking the track, we saw his daughters there, Evie and Millie. They were there. He had one of them on his shoulders. It really is a family affair.
Yeah, well, it's a complete lifestyle. You know, you've got to move around as a family and enjoy it together. It's an unusual sport, really, in that respect. It's a big strided horse, this one. Robert, you know, when you get a horse like this, you have to ride it so differently to you know, one of your other horses. Everyone is different, really. He's got USA Today that fly kicks and does all sorts of things, and Robert sort of turns a blind eye to it. And this one is quite big.
How would you say Robert's riding compared to someone like John or Michael? Do you think we've got a kind of similar style, or?
I wouldn't say there are all the Whitakers that have this great ability to be, you know, good horsemen, and you know, you can see that with Robert. They've all shared slightly different styles, and it depends what they're riding. I mean, Robert's working very hard on this. He's clear,
That's
a little bit close to the time, just inside.
He's done it,
but he did a good job there. I mean, he worked really hard. The horse isn't used to this arena and this size of fence. He's been doing other things with it and producing it, but he'll be very pleased to get a clear out of that. And you know, it just sort of proves the fact that he thinks a lot of this horse.
Well, 580, there's our first clear, Robert Whitaker at Cash Scent. And of course, we are under national rules. It is a jump-off competition, so we need another clear now to guarantee that jump-off against the clock. But Tracy Priest will be coming forward next. We saw her had a wonderful, wonderful win. But you stay with us here on Sky Sports. We'll be right back in just a few minutes' time.
Leisure. Broadcast sponsor of Royal International.
Any company
The action once again here in the Templants event. Queen Elizabeth II Cup with Scene 8 combinations go so far, and we've got one clear courtesy of Robert Whitaker and Cash Set. But we go to Tracy Priest. As I mentioned before, she's had a fantastic win here on this very stage at the Bunlerge Derby Tanker just a few weeks ago. It is the 9-year-old Caristo VDL and Tracy Priest. Another one with a fantastic string of horses out there at the moment.
Yes, this would be one of my favourite horses from this year, really, on the national circuit. And Tracy's suddenly as busy as she ever has been at this stage in her life, and really, it's got some beautiful horses to ride. And this horse I saw win the trial at the Royal Norfolk Show, and Tracy also was leading rider at the New Forest event earlier this week, so she's really going great guns. But this horse in particular, it's just got a lovely attitude and seems to do the height of the fences so easy in a very relaxed manner. It's
that was in, I
perhaps
think.
didn't get enough pace to the water. It's
Just a little bit too relaxed almost
yeah,
on approach.
perhaps a little bit too much. It was I think she sort of expected the horse to sort of take it and jump it, but she just looked a bit relaxed. That's also a pity. So as I say, it's when you're in this ring at Hickstead, it's a different ball game to some of the other arenas, but nevertheless, this horse is a horse to watch for the future.
Do you think the atmosphere gets to them even for someone like Tracy, who's been jumping here for years and jumps at other big venues? Do you think it has any impact?
I think when something's important to you, you're a little bit more nervous or apprehensive than perhaps if it didn't matter too much at all. I mean, it's just natural as a competitor. You want to win big classes, and this result here would be a bit of a shock to Tracy, because the horse I've hardly seen a horse ever hit a fence this year. No. So it just shows you how consistent he's been. But it's just one of those things. You've just got to put that behind you. It's just a round to forget, and
we move on.
I'm sure you'll see her back winning, trials and other things.
Well, she finished with a total of 16 faults there, Tracy Priest and Caristo VDL, 86.08 that time for her in the first round. And of course, if you want to join in the conversation with us today, then you can do so using the hashtag Hickstead. We're going to continue on down our draw as we welcome forward the next to go, and it's a combination that really have been on form recently. Had a great win at the area trial at Bicton. It is Emma Slater, the 11-year-old Grade A Heart D Assaults next to go. One clear we have, that's Robert Whitaker at this stage. Emma's got some great owners, some great horses. Another one that's really busy at the moment.
Yeah, she was second in the stairway at New Forest, and this horse has got enough experience to negotiate its way around this course. So we'll just see how she tackles it.
Are we still thinking 5 or 6 clears?
Well, I think that Kelvin Bowater, who's built this track, will be hoping to get the minimum of that. I would have thought.
Yeah.
But
still a lot of nice horses still to feature.
That's right. The first bunch, perhaps you would have wanted to see one more clear, but Kelvin wouldn't be too disappointed with just the one clear so far. But it's got to be a good test. Yeah. Otherwise, it's not a Queen Elizabeth. It's got to be a decent track.
Well, all good so far for Emma.
Really jumped that combination.
Yeah, it's a really gymnastic line down there.
Yeah, this horse it's got a lot of raw scope. It doesn't necessarily have to make a great shape over it, but you can see really tries to get its legs out of the way and get in the air.
Right, it's the last. Go on. Yes, there we go.
Oof.
Inside that time allowed. Great rounds. 86.10. Big pat, big smile. It really does tell 1,000 words. And we are guaranteed a jump off here this afternoon.
That was a really good round. You see the thumbs up. She was very happy with that.
Thumbs up to Kelvin, of course, designer sitting in the middle there. Kelvin Bywater. Bob Ellis is out there as well, and the whole team. It really is a team effort, these courses. So much scope, as you said, this
Yeah, she'll be pleased to see this on video
really
because
flicks up there.
she didn't really have any worrying moments at all. And through the combination, it just showed real power. Great round.
Well, one of the clears is Robert Whitaker, and of course Joe Clayton, a relative of the Whitakers, and this horse that went so well at Bolesworth. It's one called Cali the Fifth, owned by Michael, in fact, and it is Joe Clayton.
Yeah, and bred by Michael, so that's it's quite something really to breed a horse that can jump at this level.
And Joe's based there as well, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one's jumping the international classes here, so slight advantage to some of the competitors, but
whoa. Oh. Yeah, that's
no advantage when it comes to the water. That's
no.
I'm sure this horse has jumped many waters, but it's not every day you see a water like that at Hickstead. It is quite a daunting obstacle to come to. I think horses just get slightly lost. It's so wide, and it sort of then detracts from the width that you've got to jump. So it was just sheer inexperience, really. The horse just got lost and dried up, and that's the result of a bit of an upsetting issue at the water. You make a mistake somewhere else.
If you have a young horse and you're starting to jump water with it, what's that process like? Do you start with a kind of water tray and then gradually get bigger and bigger?
Yeah, you've got to keep reminding them of it. Some horses take to it like a duck to water. Sorry for the pun. And others always need a bit of ushering, and you always have to remind yourself to jump the water if you can. But we don't see it very often. We nearly always get it at Hickstead, but on a lot of the all-weather arenas we don't see water enough, and there is a discussion on at the moment, whether or not it should feature in show jumping.
Yeah.
But people like it in these big arenas like Hickstead, Ark and St Gallen. Spruce Meadows, it seems to be part of the challenge, but
yeah, it's very unique. You don't get to see it that often, as you say. So Joe Clayton then, he elects to retire at this stage. Two clears we have, Robert Whitaker, Slater. Kind of got there and just, I don't know, just didn't have the stride.
Yeah, just didn't like the look of it, and instead of sort of stopping, Joe just managed to pop into it. So hopefully that they can sort of just patch that up and do a bit of practice at home and get over it.
Well, great to see Julie Andrews here. I think you mentioned at the beginning she has been off due to a little bit of an injury. This is a 11-year-old, it's a horse that's brought her so much success. And of course, a reminder, we are using the hashtag Hickstead here this afternoon. I know Susie Gibson's already been in touch to say she's watching this one. She was involved while Julie was recovering. But sometimes it's difficult to come back, isn't it? If you've had an injury and you've missed a little bit of the season.
It is, yeah. And she said that to me. She just hasn't really had the she hasn't had the warm up that she would have liked for this class. Just hasn't worked out today. I mean, she had the second fence down. The third is a tricky jump. She wouldn't have liked having the second down, that's for sure. And disappointing to get unloaded at the water, but just one of those days you've got to try to just forget it, and
it's always a long walk back.
But I mean, she's been such a great winner on this horse. Before she broke her leg, she was almost unbeatable in certain classes, and just shows you how unpredictable show jumping is.
It's such a leveler.
It's sometimes a bit unfair. Just for one reason or another, you can't always plan the way that you would really like to, and you end up tackling certain events, with perhaps not the right preparation, and no fault of your own, but that's just the way it is.
And I suppose with a horse like Ayrton, you might not ride it as sort of defensively as you would a young horse. You'd expect that to come down and jump the water, wouldn't you?
You would do, but the last time it probably came down to water like that was a good year ago.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with water jumps, that you don't get that much practice at them, especially Hickstead.
Well, Alfie Bradstock joins us now. Of course, he's another one with horses in his genes, son of national hunt trainer. He's been involved with the sport for such a long time. Gold medals in the Pony Europeans. currently based with Graham and Tina Fletcher as well, and it's a horse that featured in the Derby. It is Cabus Cakos coming forward next. Top 3 finish for them at Liverpool to start 2016, and they've had successes pretty much all over the place since.
Yeah, Alfie, he's a real hard-working rider, and he's out on the circuit, national circuit, most of the county shows. He's getting results and just generally doing a great job. You see that really made that happen to the water. It's a very positive ride. Just got to keep the horse on its toes when you do a wrap round like this, a roll back to the planks. There you go. It's there to catch people out. The horses get a little bit confused. They wonder why they've turned a complete circle and they're almost coming back to the in-gate.
How would you sort of ride a turn like that?
You've just got to keep them busy, keep them up in the bridle and try to keep their concentration, not let them at all feel that perhaps, they're on, because horses don't know when they're going to come out of the ring, really. They just assume certain indications they get, and they think, oh, well, that's it, we're finished. But this course certainly throwing up a few problems all over the place, really. So I think the crowd are getting their fair share of it.
It's interesting.
We've had a few retires, eliminations.
It is 8 for jumping, 4 for time. That's a total of 12 there for Alfie Bradstock, 90.96. It is 13 combinations gone so far, 22 advertised to start and 2 clears. That's how things look at this stage of the 10-plant events, Queen Elizabeth II Cup. You can see that just
a little bit. Maybe Alfie will look at that and think, well, just a little bit off the plank. It's they're big set of planks. The horse could have easily taken that stride. It's just one of those things sometimes, they're quite daunting obstacle to look at.
Well, we go to Holly Smith now. And of course, many of you will know Holly Smith as Holly Gillett. She got married fairly recently. That's Alfie just making his exit, and Holly heading up towards the start line. It's an 8-year-old that she brings with her. This one by Beach Ball. It is Lammy Beach and Holly Smith. She's got so many good memories in this ring, hasn't she?
Yeah, she certainly has kept going. Since Dougie Douglas, she's got other horses to ride and keep getting good results. She's again another really hard-working rider on the circuit.
When you have a horse like Dougie Douglas, suppose as a working rider, you need to make that decision, don't you? Whether to keep it, whether you can afford to keep it and not sell it.
Yeah, that's the thing with our sport. It's wrapped up with business, and when you get a good horse that's very valuable, it's a decision you have to make because it's the nature of our sport. You come out of the ring having done something good with them, and there's often customers asking if you would sell the horse, and you've got to survive. And it's something you have to consider very, very harshly.
Round to the last. Could this be number 3? Yes, all the way. Again, we see that big pat, and we've got our third clear. It is Holly Smith and Lammy Beach. Brilliant ride.
Well, she made that look very easy. We were chatting away, really, about her other horse, but you can just see what a talented rider Holly is. She made that look very easy, and it was a very quick round.
Real scope again. Really good front action as well.
Yeah, we were saying about values of horses. I mean, anybody watching this horse, you can see it's got real talent. This is a tough course.
Do you want to make her an offer? Well, we move on. We now sit on 3 clears to a man who won his first Grand Prix at the age of 17, involved not only as an athlete now, but also, of course, as a trainer as well. It is Paul Crago, and a horse that finished 6th in the Speed Derby just a few weeks ago. Valentino and Paul Crago.
Yeah, Paul was saying this horse has done a lot of jumping recently, and perhaps not the ideal preparation for today, but he knows this horse is good at Hickstead. Had a great meeting at the last meeting. I think he was third in the Speed Derby. He's got a great owner with Dawn Cooley, who loves this horse to bits. And yeah, Paul does a great job with it.
Little tap there, but he got away with it. It's balancing on the edge of the cup.
Really working hard over that triple bar. That's something all the riders like to jump. Oh, really stretched there. It's a long skip there in the middle of that combination. It's just a fraction long. The horse just slightly sort of coming to pieces a bit towards the end. But it's been a great campaign for Paul. And I think Paul would have been perhaps over the moon had he gone clear today, because he was thinking that the horse has done a lot of jumping and perhaps would be a little bit tired to tackle this track. In fact, his faults came towards the end of the course, you see, and that's sort of an indication of the fact that it was probably just feeling the stretch of the last couple of weeks.
Well, it's just not his day. We stay on the three clears. We go to the home team. Lucy Bunn comes forward, and in fact, Edward just standing behind us. He's come up to watch this one. It's one that's owned by the Billy Stud, Billy Buckingham now, and Lucy Bunn. Robert Whitaker, Emma Slater, Holly Smith. That's our three clears at this stage. Billy Stud are responsible for some of the British bred horses at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got so many nice young horses. William said early this year that he's got the best crop he's ever had, but it's just the time group that she's got, and was second in the area trial with the Pycombe horse, which is just down the road actually from Hickstead, and also fifth at the South of England show, and that's a really difficult test.
Go on.
It's actually, you can see that she's going to go in it, but did really well actually to get as close to the tape as she did.
Yeah.
But you know, once you have that upset at the water, it's difficult to get your rhythm back, and that's a big fence to follow on.
That line's all really part of one test, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so difficult it's a balancing act. You've got a horse here that's still growing in confidence and experience, and you know, lines like that probably don't get too many more difficult lines than that anywhere. It's got a great attitude, this horse. The ears are pricked. It's really judging what it has to approach. Very sort of innocent look. Very measured to that. Quite a few of the horses have had a look at that double, and there's nothing really odd about it, but it's just very poley.
So 93.86, that's the time. In the middle first round, it is 8 for jumping and 7 for time. Lucy Bunn and Billy Buckingham. This one far from over, but we stay on the three clears at this stage.
Yeah, the score really didn't do justice. You know, watching the round, you can see that actually the horse jumped a very nice round. It collected all the force on that one line. She finished the course really well, and you can see that that horse, with a little bit more experience, will be a great campaigner.
Well, so much still to look forward to. Do stay with us. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on Sky Sports.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Equestrian.com, your first choice for top quality products and brands you can trust. It's where you'll find the most comprehensive range of clothing and equipment for horse and rider, saving you time and money. Whether in the yard, at home, or competing in your chosen discipline, Equestrian.com is here to help. Equestrian.com, proud sponsors of the iconic Hickstead Derby.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Welcome back. It is the Template Events Queen Elizabeth II Cup here at the Longines Royal International Horse Show. As you know, if you've been with us since the very start, we have three clears: Robert Whitaker, Emma Slater, and Holly Smith. And we now go to Mark Edwards. It is the 10-year-old horse Tinker's Tail, one that was bred in Great Britain. He's had some great runs at the Royal and Bathurst Show. Where else have we seen him? We've also seen him at Addington Manor, really all over the place on the national circuit.
Yeah, I was at the Bath and West show and
stage. I think we'll just see that again though. It really balloons over the water, but it makes it look easy down to the offset. And here he comes.
yeah, he was putting a fair bit of pressure on to go over that water, and the horse was still sort of busy and sort of gassed up really in its ride, and you've just got to try to. It's a balancing act really to get the rhythm back and to do some little jumps afterwards.
Well, we go now to Shane Green, a man who's made history on a number of occasions in this ring, but of course became the first to take the win as a male rider in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup here back in 2008. There's Shane Green and Silvermont.
A little sticky moment just off the floor there, and I think that's what it was about. It was looking at the water before he took off at that.
You could see that, couldn't you? Right
Back.
back.
Yeah. It's so annoying to be honest. You come in, you've got great hopes of jumping this course, and just because of the water, it messes everything up. Nearly. Nope.
No.
Now you know Shane's based in Hickstead, and some people think, well, you wouldn't think a horse like that would stop at the water, but it just shows you it's no real advantage living on the place because you don't get to go in this arena under these circumstances.
No, exactly. Well, that is a real shame, but not today for Shane Breen and Silvermont. 18 combinations gone so far. We've seen a couple from the Billy Stud already, and it's on to Billy Onslow we go now, and William Funnell. We see so many Billy horses around at the moment. Fantastic facility they have.
Yeah, Onslo's been a great horse for him in the last couple of seasons. It's stepped up a gear when Billy Congo was off, and it's quite a good utility horse really. William finds some nice classes at every show he goes to. So he was second in the Derby trial at the last meeting, and you often see this horse jumping abroad in all sorts of different classes, so it's sort of universal abilities. And with the results it's had in this ring, well, I was just gonna say you would be looking for this one to put in a clear, but it's not the only one that's had that third fence down.
I think it could be because the horses are starting to really focus on that water, and it's kind of drawing them into the base.
A little bit. Also, it's a big fence, and it is very, very square. And I thought that when I walked course, I thought, you certainly don't want to get drawn into it.
No. Again, that roll back into the planks, that's got a fair few here this afternoon. This is an interesting line as well, I think, because you need so much power for the treble bar, and then the upright's really delicate on the other end. Yeah,
one relates to the other always, and that's what sort of caught Mark Edwards out. He put a lot of pressure on down that line, and it just unsettles the horse for the next fence. Three clears, and it's the 19th to go, so it's proving a tough course. We've got 26 starters, so we've got a chance of getting a couple more clears.
Yeah, I think so. We've got some really good ones near the end as well. But today then, it is...
That's the hub of the sport really, Central Europe. It's between Germany, Holland, France, Belgium.
And you can travel between those so easily as well
Yeah.
once you're there.
It's free borders, and
At the moment.
there's yes, that's where you need to be really. This horse was actually sold away from David, and he hasn't long had the ride back. So it's quite an interesting, really, to get this ride, having produced the horse in the beginning.
Well, I don't want to jinx him, but it's looking good so far.
Oh,
Go.
he got away with it. It's strange because Louise Pavitt's horse also did that mistake. He did well.
Yes.
He did well to recover. The horse just drifted at that double. We've seen a few horses do funny things at that, coming up the hill at that double, and David did really well to actually get over it.
Do you think it's the gradient? Is it something they can see out there? I didn't notice anything when I was walking the track that would make them kind of back off like that.
No, it's a 6 strides from the gate straight up the hill, and there's no filler. Well, there's the Longines board at the bottom, but David had to change his mind and really put a little bit of leg on, and did well to jump it.
Well, super round, super horse, it's 3 for Great Britain and 1 for Ireland here in this national competition. Robert Whitaker, Emma Slater, Holly Smith, and now David Simpson will all return for that jump off against the clock a little bit later on. And not too many left to go here in this first round as we get down to the final 5. Helen Treadwell first represented Great Britain at the age of 16. This one by the unbelievable Darko. It is Sebastian and Helen Treadwell.
Yeah, this is one I picked at the beginning of the class as a combination, really, that perhaps not a surprise win, but this horse has come on so well this year with Helen. Let's get over the water before we say any more. There we are. And won the Matty Brown at Newark and Notts, which is a big class, and Devon County. Won the Addington Trials, all different arenas, so it's had a great sort of rounded experience this year.
It's not the first.
Disappointed. No, that's not the first to have that plank down.
I don't mean this in any negative way, but it's kind of got its own style. It's a bit of a chunky monkey, this one.
Yeah, it's got a lot of ability, a lot of raw power. And Helen's done some good classes internationally abroad, and I've seen it jump at sort of a 1m55 track and really make it look easy.
Yeah.
Wasn't the easiest horse in its early years, and Helen's done really well to sort of knock the sharp edges off it and get this consistency, and she would be one of the most consistent sort of combinations on the national circuit.
Yeah, got a great tune out of her, and just sadly taking that plank down on the roll back there. Finishes on the 4 jumping faults, but slots in at the moment into 7th place, into 7th at this stage. So we get set and ready to move on to Tim Stockdale, of course, part of the team that represented Great Britain yesterday in the Fudicea FEI Nations Cup. Erasmus van de Hethink, great ambassador of show jumping for Great Britain, is Tim on the long list as well for the games, but sadly not making the team.
Did a great job yesterday with Fleur de Lobe in the Nations Cup. Tim would be very pleased to be back, at that level again. He's so used to being in the top flight, but that's an early one to have. Not too many have had the second fence. It's a long way around from here, but one of those days.
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier, there is so many shows now. Do you think it's sort of difficult to plan that calendar to make sure that your horse doesn't become tired at this time of year? Because there's just so much on now.
It is, and with Tim, he's been busy with the Nations Cup. Went to Falsterbo in Sweden. He's managing his team really well. This is a horse that he uses to almost protect his other string, and it's been doing a good job. But he's put it in this today, really to save his other horse, and that's what you have to do as a rider. Really, you've got to
Yeah.
manage your team and focus on certain things. And with Fleur de Lobe as his top horse, he's got the opportunity now of getting some really nice trips abroad. And Di Lampard really will be very pleased to see a combination as good as that, on the team.
That was a shame because those faults were so near the beginning of the course, and then from there just floated round.
Yeah, it comes earlier. It would be annoyed about the second fence, but the third fence is definitely a catch. It leads you into the water, and we've seen most people actually that haven't been clear, they've had that fence down. So it's this one that Tim would be annoyed about.
Well, in the end, it is 8 jumping faults there for Tim Stockdale. As we get down then to our final 3 here in the first round of the Semplance events, Queen Elizabeth II Cup for 2016. And it is to Chloe Winchester we're going to be going to next. And she had an incredible win with this horse here. In fact, it wasn't this horse, I don't think. I think it was another one. But she did take the win here last year. This year, it's the 11-year-old by Sydney. It's called Scenic, this one. Chloe Winchester.
Yeah, Chloe's the holder of this title. And this horse is fairly new ride to her. Actually, Helen Treble formerly rode this for Simon Davis.
All right.
Who produces a lot of horses, and I think Robert Whitaker also has ridden this before Chloe.
There must be a bit of added pressure as well. If you've already taken the title and you're coming back to defend it, that must add something on.
Yeah, you certainly want to do yourself justice. It's not easy though, with to tackle this course on something that you're not really sort of rocking and rolling all season with.
She's so humble as well. I remember last year we interviewed her, and after going clear, she didn't think she had any hope at all of taking the title. It was a great story in 2015, and sadly just having a rail there.
Now Chloe's a very good rider. She's strong. She's getting some help at the moment from David McPherson, and that will stand her in good stead for the future. But she doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and very tidy round. It's 4 faults. It's nothing really around the course like this.
Especially on a fairly new ride as well.
Yeah, it was a good round.
So it goes into 8th at this stage. It is into 8th for Chloe Winchester and Scenic 85.94.
Jumped the water by about a metre. You haven't seen too many people have that last part of the combination down. A lot of horses have been sort of struggling in the middle, but not the last part.
Well, we go to Philip Miller now. He's won so much on this stage. It's a 16-year-old horse. It is a very well-informed Cartier Z. This one by Shalano Z. Got some Concord lines in there as well, so certainly very well bred. Got a bit of experience, this one too.
Yeah, it's been a great horse for Philip. Didn't actually take it to Aachen on his latest trip, but this has been his best horse for the last few seasons, and so familiar with this ring. So fingers crossed. Oh, very close to the water.
In fact, the judges are just wandering over to have a look. Oh, this is just a national competition. That plaster scene still is there. Joanna Gillespie's the water jump judge, and she's heading over there just to have a little look. We'll let you know how it pans out.
Anyway, the Caritia knows this like it's been so many times around this arena, so it's
like home.
You wouldn't think it's going to get caught out by any funny looking obstacles, that's for sure.
Well, we can confirm no faults at the water, so clear so far. Four clears at this stage. Kelvin Bywater thought he'd get 5 or 6, and to be fair, he's never normally wrong.
Just hold it to the last, Philip.
Oh, come on. Super.
No problem.
Super round.
That certainly looked like a combination that was in its comfort zone. All the way round, Philip just took that extra time to the fences. It certainly wasn't under any pressure at all. Really great round.
79.92. It means nothing in this competition, but he's the fastest clear we've seen in round number 1. And without a doubt, he'll be one to watch when we get to that jump off against the clock. So it brings us up to 5 clears.
Didn't look fast either.
No.
It was just very, very neat round the corners.
Just covers the ground.
Yeah.
One combination left to go. Will it be 5 or will it be 6? Anthony Condon is next to go. The 10-year-old called Balzac. It's owned by Cat Taylor. Of course, Cat Taylor, a great owner for Anthony now, based in the northwest of England is Cat. Loves her horses, loves her bling. And this has been going well for Anthony Condon. Balzac, last to go in round number 1.
That's not the best start.
No.
And Anthony's, he's had a good run with this horse. Was second in the Grand Prix in Bethune, and that's a really tough Grand Prix on grass. So I think that's the only one that's had the first fence, isn't it? Ooh.
And in that water.
And the water's certainly caught a lot of horses out today. I don't know why, so many have been spooked by it. You know, when you're coming to Hickstead, you're going to get a bit.
It's going to be in there.
It's going to be in there, but it's certainly caught its fair share out today.
And I think later on today in the British Speed Classic, we're going to see a different type of competition, but this one's going to be so interesting when we get to the jump off. Sadly, Anthony Condon won't be there. He elects to retire with Balzac. Just having a little spook again there. So much to see in this string. I don't think we can overemphasize that enough. The atmosphere, the fences, the decoration.
Yes, at normal shows you just don't see the actual standards, like the wings in Hickstead are totally different to other arenas. They're huge. They're like sort of garden fences in some instances, and the water jump is just so exceptional here. If you get to jump water at most shows, it's just a water tray or an extended one.
Well, there it is. There's our start list. There's the athletes that will feature in that jump off against the clock. Robert Whitaker, Emma Slater, Holly Smith, David Simpson and Philip Miller. Who's your money on?
Well, you can't help looking at the bottom of that list.
No,
there,
exactly.
Philip Miller, can you? I mean, the round he just produced was real class. David Simpson also did a great round. He got the 2 greys there. Holly Smith, I mean, it's a difficult one to choose. Robert Whitaker, that horse, I don't know how hard he's going to push it, but he's first in, so he won't be thinking about trying to beat anybody else. He's going to go and do what he feels comfortable with. So he'll look to set the standard without perhaps taking the last chance, because he knows Philip Miller at the end will always better him on time. Emma Slater jumped a good round. You can't rule her out, but it's sort of weighted in such a fact that David Simpson and Philip Miller at the end, I think if you were betting, you'd have to sort of point at them.
And here's the question for you. If you had to take one of those horses home, which one would it be? Would you go for Cartier?
It depends how you're looking at it. I think if you're looking for something to ride now and go now, I mean, it's such a great horse. It's in our sport, we have different ways of looking at it. We look at future and also present. And if you're looking for something now, you look at a horse for Cartier. Perhaps if you're looking for future, you look at something that's quite young and coming through, and is a good investment for your owner. So it's there's two different ways.
Great. Well, this is going to be a fantastic jump off when we get there. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes here on Sky Sports.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show. Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Oh, here we go. Welcome back to the Longines Royal. With quite a few tricky lines in there, that water jump causing a lot of problems.
A lot of these horses won't have been jumping this week. It will be the first time they jump in this ring. Some of them may not have jumped the water jump before. It is a big water jump. It takes quite a bit of jumping, and sometimes a horse needs to get used to it to be able to be successful over it. So a lot of those that have faults this time will come back and jump well next time round.
Looking ahead to the jump off, what's the time allowed and what have you done with this course?
Jump off is fairly open. There's some places they can make up space, make up time, cut the corners. But it's a big arena. It's a 4-acre arena. It takes quite a lot of getting around. They need a forward, fast-moving horse.
Thanks very much, Kelvin. Great to talk to you. The jump off is about to get underway, so we'll take you back to your commentary team.
As well, always fantastic to hear what he has in store as we get to that jump off against the clock. And as Kelvin said, James, there's lots of areas where they can make up time, lots of turns they can take as well.
Yeah, still a lot of jumping on the way round. We've got the triple combination cut down to just the double. So we start at fence 1, 2, 3. So that hasn't changed. And then you cut across to fence 8. That's that green style that followed the triple bar. So you're working down the hill. And then you go to fence 9, which was the triple combination, and they just jump 2 elements of that. And then cut across the 10, which is the gate. And then up the hill and jump the first part of that double, which was 11. And then to the last fence, which is quite a sharp sort of cut across into the crowd in the grandstand. So quite a lot of running. You go up the hill, down the hill, and up the hill.
Well, it's game on. We're set, we're ready, and it is Robert Whitaker that gets us underway. Cash Scent are first to go.
So Robert, having a look around here, and you know, the nice thing about going first is that you're not influenced by anybody else's round or what anybody else has told you. You're just going to try to jump a clear round and not hang about.
It's never easy going first in the jump off either.
No, he's done 8 strides up the hill, and the riders on the balcony will be looking at that to see if there's a margin to earn. A little bit of a skid, but brilliant jump this horse has got. Now rolling down the hill to this green vertical, very plain coloured fence, not easy to see.
Really covers the ground.
Yeah, it's deceptive really. It's got a big stride.
First part came down there, the front bar.
Not the easiest turn up to this gate.
Not an easy turn to the last either, not when you're pushing on.
6 strides up to that Oxley, you can't really change that one at all.
Clears the last, finishes in the 4 faults, 52.66 is the time. That's the standard after our first to go, Robert Whitaker and Cash Scent.
Yeah, Robert, the horse jumped really good round. He'll be disappointed to because his aim there was to just set a target, just a bit late, following through with its back legs, but really jumped a super round otherwise. He would have liked to have been a clear there. Just he knew he would get beaten on time, but I think that would have earned him good money, a clear round there today.
Yeah, without a doubt. Right, we move on. It is to Emma Slater now. It's the 11-year-old Grade 8 Art d'Ossance. This one, of course, who won the area trial at Bicton. Bicton, another great arena, right down the bottom of the country.
So she's done the same amount of strides as Rob. Not really chasing it on the corner there. So she looks to be sort of setting out a plan of making, trying to jump the fences clear, not worrying too much about time.
Yeah. suppose when there's only 5 in the jump off, you can kind of do that a little bit, knowing
Well,
you're
you
still going
do.
to get a good place.
You're right. But on the other hand, with only 5 in it, you've got a chance of winning the Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And if you really nail it, you know,
It's all about risk and reward,
yeah,
I think.
that's right. You're going to be very hard to beat. Really powering over the fences.
Last
Just
fence.
the last to go.
Yes, double clear there. 55.22 is the time. Emma Slater, will she take the title for 2016 here in the Templant Events Queen Elizabeth II Cup? She'll be happy with that.
Well, she is very happy with that. She's clear, and that's what she intended to do. She wasn't influenced by the time whatsoever, and it's proving a difficult track in general. You know, they're big fences, and she was happy just to leave him up. So the riders know what to do now, but on time, I think she's there to be shot at.
Yeah. Well, we go for the 11-year-old to the 8-year-old. This one by Beach Boy. It's Lammy Beach and Holly Smith.
Holly probably hasn't had a chance to see anybody go, but there'll be enough people in the collection ring to tell her what's happening.
Interestingly now, down in the warm-up, I don't know if you've been down there yet, they've actually put a new screen in there. So although she'll be concentrating on jumping, down in the warm-up you can watch the action.
Yeah, it's difficult when you're
Cantering towards an offence.
That's right, when there's only 5 in it, you sort of rely on
focused.
somebody else to sort of tell you the news, because you've got enough going on.
Holly up on the clock as she lands there.
Yeah, she's not really chasing it, but she's certainly quicker.
She's moving. 55.22, that's the time to beat. It is quicker. Pushes over the finish line, 49.86, brand new leader. It is Holly Smith and Lammy Beach.
Well done, Holly. That was a really great round. She's done 2 fantastic rounds today, and this horse, we were talking about values and everything. There's nothing jumped better than this horse today. It's so neat and got such a nice attitude.
Do you think she's done enough?
I think these 2 to go, David Simpson and Philip Miller, they know how to ride fast. I mean, she knows in her mind that they'll be quick.
Yeah, it's not over.
It's not over. No, they've just got to leave the fences up, obviously. But she knows on time that they can certainly pin her down.
2 combinations left to go. David Simpson comes forward next. It is CSIO5. So 49.86, that becomes the new time to beat. Holly Smith leads, Emma Slater second, Robert Whitaker sitting in 3rd place.
He's chopped the stride out to start with on the 7 strides, so he's if he goes on in this fashion, he'll certainly do the time, no problem at all. But Holly's just set enough of a target that they've got to take chances. And he'll take a chance here, David. He'll just slice this vertical, but that was quick.
Yeah, and Holly's horse just an 8-year-old, this one a little bit more experienced.
Yeah, you can just let it run a little bit more. But he's quick. Now, this is not the easiest gate to jump on any angle.
He's up on the clock. Lear's the last, and yes, there's our new leader. It is 47.85. Catch me if you can, says David Simpson. CSIO5, 47.85.
Well, he's really set a target there. He knows Philip Miller is coming in after him, but it's going to be a tough call to...
Yeah, that's added the pressure on.
It certainly is. I think Philip will have been told that he's really given it gas around this arena, and he's got to set off in the same fashion as David did. He's got to try to do the 7 to the last and take some real chances. So has David done enough?
Well, we're about to find out. Here comes Philip Miller, and of course this horse has done so much on this stage. And that new challenge, 47.85, the time to beat. And already you can see he's off and running.
Yeah, he's about neck and neck as it is at the moment. He's just got to let it flow down the hill a bit like David did, but he's just taking a bit of a check. Didn't get quite the corner that he wanted.
Opens up there though. Get the angle.
A little bit of an elbow usher.
Neck and neck.
Now he's really got to take a bit of a chance because there's nothing in it.
Could it go right to the wire today?
He's got to chance it to the last.
It's not over. 47.85 to beat. Last fence comes round. Oh, and it's gone. Catches the time as well. 46.51.
He had to take that chance to the last. He knew
Yeah.
he was about neck and neck. There wasn't much in it. And that's the thing. When you're taking risks, you can make a mistake.
He gets a huge round of applause from the crowd. He knew, as you say, he really had to push down to the last. It is all or nothing, but in the end, he will finish in 4th place. 46.51, our fastest time, and just taking the last down for Philip Miller.
You never know as a rider. You just assume that you're sort of there or thereabouts on time. He probably had time perhaps to take a little check.
He could have.
There was a margin in it, but you just don't know that. I think he was conscious perhaps his turn back to 3 wasn't what he wanted, and he had a bit of catch up in the middle and probably felt he was neck and neck and needed to take a chance to that last fence.
Well, since 1998, male riders have been able to join the action here in the 10-plant event, Queen Elizabeth II Cup, and it is a male rider who will take the title today, and there's that result with David Simpson sitting up at the top. He is our winner, clear in 47.85 with the fantastic Chessie 17. Holly Smith, she came in early on with Lammy Beach to finish in 2nd. It is Emma Slater in 3rd, Philip Miller 4th, and Robert Whitaker in 5th. So it came almost right to the wire. Did you think he was going to do it?
Philip, he's won some great classes. I mean, you wouldn't have ruled him out, but David did a cracking round today,
He deserves it
and he
today.
probably deserved to win it. But Philip had done the time, but at the expense of the last fence, and that's the thing with show jumping. You know, if you take risks, you're liable to have a mistake. But good class. It was a tough class. Very difficult for the course builders to know what to build. I mean, it's got to be tough enough because it's a big class. It's a prestigious event, and people want to win it. So you've got to set something which is pretty formidable. And 5 clears, I think, was all right in the end. I think I mentioned 7, but that was a good jump off as well.
Well, it was a very well-deserved win. Hannah, I think, managed to find David Simpson. Let's find out what he makes of his win here in the 10-plant events. Queen Elizabeth II Cup.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Queen Elizabeth II Cup for 2016, David Simpson, congratulations. How does that win feel?
Yeah, no, great. Like I said at the last show, it's always unbelievable feeling to win in that ring. It's one of my favourite shows in the world. It's great to be here and great to be winning classes.
You do seem to really like it here, have a lot of success here. That was a big, tricky track in the first round. How did you find it?
Yeah, no, really good. The mare, I haven't had her that long. I had her last year and then I got her back recently. And I just wasn't sure how she was going to, like, Hickstead's very special. There's not too many rings like it in the world. And I just wasn't sure how she was going to adapt, so I maybe rode with a fraction extra pressure at the start. But I found she felt very easy. Good horses make big jumps seem easy.
They do indeed. Only 5 of you through the jump off. Did you put the speed down a little bit knowing Philip Miller was coming in after you?
I definitely sure Philip was faster. I was very lucky he knocked the last fence, but no, I knew what I could do. I knew where I had to give her a fraction more time, and I knew where I could be quick, and she felt great. She felt unbelievable, and she gave me everything, so I'm very happy.
Well, congratulations once again, David. Enjoy the presentation and that lap of honour. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks. Bye.
Well, as David Simpson said, it's so important to know your horse and where you can make the turns and where you can make up the time. But he is crowned our winner then of the 10-plant events, Queen Elizabeth II Cup. Backstage, he'll be getting on his horse and joining us in just a second. In fact, there he is. Fantastic horse. He's got so much scope, can make the turns. And there'll be some celebrating out there tonight. I don't think he stopped smiling, since he got off that horse.
No, it's a great win for David. As he said, he's sold this horse, lost the ride on it, and to get it back and win a class like this is it's really rewarding. It just shows you what a nice horse it is. It's got a wall eye as well. That's it's one you never forget when they've got an eye like that.
They stand out for sure.
He jumped super rounds today. Just had that slight almost run out at the double in the first round, where his partner Louise Pavitt had problems, and that would have been unusual if they'd both done that. But other than that, it was an absolutely immaculate round, and David certainly did what he had to in that jump off. Philip will be kicking himself a little bit once you can see that there was enough time to perhaps set up a bit more to the last. But if you knew that, you'd win many a classes. It's hindsight's a great thing.
So Lizzie Bunn gives her congratulations. You can see Holly Smith just to the left of the shot there. And people like David Simpson, Holly Smith, Philip Miller, they're competing against each other week in, week out. So although they'll be disappointed not to win, I'm sure they'll still be congratulating the other athletes out there as well.
Yeah, they're all riders that have their fair share of winning around the circuit, and they'll all be happy to congratulate each other. But those first three, they were all double clears, and they did great performances today. Holly Smith will be really thrilled to bits with that horse. It just looked super to me. Didn't make a mistake at all.
Well, we join the presentation here now in the Templance Events Queen Elizabeth II Cup, and we see David Simpson standing forward, and Emma Wilde there with the trophy as he steps forward between the Templant event standards.
This is what makes Hickstead special. You never forget these moments when you come in and get presented with the award. It's such a fantastic arena to come into, and in front of those old buildings, and you grow up watching Hickstead, so it's a dream really to be standing there. Yeah, many things go through your mind.
What sort of things do go through your mind as you're standing there?
Well, really you've fulfilled another one of your dreams, that you've got a horse good enough, and you've beaten some of the best in the world, and you're at one of the greatest venues in the world. And when you hear your national anthem and you look around it, people that are supporting you, and many things like that. Yeah. You certainly get emotional, and there's so much work with this sport, and as you said, there's so many ups and downs. 1 minute you're winning, next minute you're on the floor. You've really got to sort of treasure these moments. And there's that eye that I mentioned.
Yes. It does make them
You've just got to love it, haven't you?
Well, we can see the ribbon is being presented, the stable plaque, the trophy, and there's also a bottle of champagne there. And I'd be guessing that will not be full by the end of today.
You've just got to open it on the day.
You've got to, yeah.
You've got to make the best of it.
And
maybe not before the Speed Derby, though.
Yes, well. So the trophy that's got so many names over the years, it's got some of the biggest riders in the sports. Of course, last year, Chloe Winchester, Richard Howley's on the trophy, Louise Saywell, Lindsay Babes. And going back in time, of course, some of the names that we're seeing still involved with the sport. Di Lampard's had her name on that, and of course she's preparing on her road to Rio with Team Great Britain. But David will be over the moon with that horse. He takes the trophy and will be posing for many pictures. The press pool down there, he raises the trophy up.
It's a great one to go on your CV.
Yeah, it's one of these titles, isn't it? There's some competitions that really stick out, and this is certainly one of them.
Yeah, it's one of the heavyweight titles at Hickstead, and it's great to be part of it.
And really, it's hard to believe it's a national competition because the standard out there is so high.
It's a fine line. It is a national competition, but it's full of international riders, and it's just the rules are hardly any difference really. But it's, for me, if I were to be in that class, I certainly couldn't classify it as one thing or the other. It's just a great class to win.
Yeah. Well, the crowd's so supportive there, and of course we can see in shot there Philip Miller, the fastest time, just the final fence coming down. And Robert Whitaker sitting alongside him, but confirming that result, David Simpson takes the win. It's Holly Smith in second, Emma Slater in third, Philip Miller and Robert Whitaker sitting 4th and 5th. Well, we've got so much still to look forward to here this afternoon. Of course, the British Speed Classic as well, all still to come as David Simpson gets ready for his victory gallop, and we'll be right back in just a minute or two.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Omega Rice is a rice bran and linseed supplement that maintains condition, healthy skin, a shiny coat, and is easily added to your horse's normal feed. It's suitable for competition horses, veterans, and fussy feeders. You'll find only the highest quality ingredients, and everything is manufactured to the highest standards in our UFAS and Beta-NOPS approved factory. Omega Rice is used and recommended by many top riders, including Olympic gold medalist Ben Mayer. For more information, visit omegarice.com.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International.
Only the highest quality and manufactured to the highest standards in our UFAS and Beta-NOPS approved factory. Omega many top riders, including visit Omega Rice.
Just almost got run over by a horse. Welcome back to Hickstead. What a fantastic round from David Simpson there, taking the win in the Queen Elizabeth II Cup. We've still got plenty of top flight show jumping coming up for you from here this afternoon. The British Speed Classic is due to get underway in just a few minutes' time. But before that, we've got a chance to look back at some of the other action from the International Arena this week. On Thursday, it played host to the Amlin Plus Eventers Challenge, a different course to usual here in the International Arena. Eventers from across the world of eventing came together to compete, including 4 Olympic riders. To take you through some of the highlights from the competition are Tina Cook and Gareth Jenkins.
Not to be today for Sarah, but it is to our next to go. Laura Collett now, and here with Mr. Bass. And Laura, another of our top British event riders, competed at the Europeans at Blair last year, finished 13th individually as team gold in the young rider Europeans. Also has 3 individual young rider golds as well.
Laura is one of our really up-and-coming talented young riders. This is a lovely young horse. She's been going very fast with him this year. He did an amazingly quick round inside the time at Barbary on his last outing, so he really can cover the ground. He's done very well for a young horse. But she does a lot of jumping over the winter with these horses and have taken him abroad. She's decided to go straight down the bank. He was very cautious and looked what he was doing. That was very good. That would have saved a few seconds. As to avoid going that, it's a little bit fiddly. Oh, she didn't quite get the right stride there, but the horse sorted himself out, and you can see how nimble, for a very big horse, he sorted his legs out.
Now, 70 seconds over that Irish bank certainly puts Laura in touch with the leader, Dan Jocelyn.
He's taking it really well around this course. Laura is being very positive, sitting really behind him and being very positive with him. Yes, he did have that one down going in. She did use quite a lot of speed there, which was going to catch her out. But for a big horse for going the fast as he is, he's very quick at getting his legs out the way. He's used to going fast cross country. That water is deceptively deep in there. You have to really sit up and sit tight. She's ridden around here many a time, so she knows what the arena's like. She's going very well. She's been very fast.
This is quick, 133.78. She, even with the 4 seconds to add, is very much in touch with taking over the lead of the Amlin Plus Eventers Challenge, and that she does. What a great round. That was 130.93 the final time with the seconds added in. Mr. Bass, Laura Collett lead the way.
That was fantastic. For a young horse, he's so used to going fast cross country, but as I keep saying, he was so clever. She didn't get a stride at all to that, but he got his legs out of the way. He has a conscience, but he's also very, very brave. And there at the last, did you just see how he folded his legs, not wanting to touch that pole? That was a lovely round. She'll be so pleased with that. And her owners live locally to here, so they'll be thrilled.
Great news then for Laura Collett and Mr. Bass as she now takes over Great Britain, top the leaderboard in the Amlin Plus Eventers Challenge. New Zealand's Dan Jocelyn in second, Ireland's Joseph Murphy in third, and it's New Zealand once again that join us next. And another rider returning, having competed here 12 months ago. It is Tim Price now. Tim here with Trisha Rickards, the precious one. And Tim, who is also the reserve rider for the New Zealand team for Rio and those Olympic Games next week.
Yes, he's another reserve, because I'm not sure when they are flying, but I'm flying in the morning to go out to Rio, so I've got to go back and do some packing, which I haven't done yet. Tim is a real hard worker. He rides a lot of horses. He's a fast cross-country rider. He's a real horseman. And this is only a 10-year-old horse. He has been advanced, has done some 3-star competitions, so he's used to the height of the fences. Tim won't worry about a rid of rain blowing in his face. In fact, it makes you feel like you're going faster when you're doing that. But it's a relatively new horse to him, but it's a real blood and agile type of horse, and is quick, as you can see. He moved away from that fence very, very quickly, and he'll be able to really see a flyer at that big brush. It's like a chasing fence.
Well, last year he was like lightning, lost a little bit of time at the Derby Bank, but not losing too much time here this year. Of course, a different ride. It was his Kentucky winner, Wesco, last year.
Oh, you see, the horse was very clever. He saw a very forward stride going in, but he quickly shortened the horse up. Oh!
Hold tight.
Yes. I was a little bit worried for him then, because sometimes when that happens, that water catches you out. But he's going really quick, really quick.
Well, Laura Collett will know that her time at the top of the leaderboard is under challenge already. 4 seconds to add, but this is quick.
Oh!
A whiff and a wave. It was a bit of a squiffy line to the final fence. But it is into the lead for Tim Price and the precious one. Great round of jumping from one of New Zealand's very best. Well done, Tim.
Well, he just went to try and set the horse up coming to the last, and it was just ignoring him. So his little setup became a little bit more severe. But
Pay attention, please.
Yes, please, even though it is the last fence.
Well, he is 8 seconds quicker than the round of Laura Collett. That's going to take some catching, I would think.
Yeah, it will do, but Olivia Craddock here riding Billy Liffey, which is a horse bred by the Billy stud by the Funnels. Olivia Craddock is a local girl. She only lives 20 minutes away from here. She was 6th in the under-25s at Bramham this year, which was the first time for her at this level. He's a fantastic jumper, this horse. Normally they would be lacking a little bit of experience to ride in this sort of arena, but he's jumped round Bramham. He's seen some very, very big fences. She's a very positive, brave young rider, and she will be positive and be riding very forward. She's quite brave. She likes going fast, and as you can see, he's an athletic jumper. He finds the dressage quite difficult, but he's giving her so much experience as she's working her way up the levels in our sport. And to have a horse like this that can jump and be as nimble over a fence like that is lovely to have.
Well, interestingly as well, Tim Price's time of 122.97 is 2 seconds quicker than the winning time here last year of Andrew Nicholson.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. He was covering the ground, he was very, very quick in between the fences. Livy's still clear. Just want to give the horses a chance to see that little narrow fence there. She's not going to get the 2 strides. Just popped in a third one. And she was clear the horse is always going to do it, but when they don't jump off there quite well enough, they don't get the 2 strides, so all it is time wasting. If you add in extra strides, it's seconds, the clock ticking away. So now coming to the dike, it's a really bright blue ditch under there. Oh, the horse was just a bit unbalanced when he came out.
Well, the dike today, once again, is picking up its fair share of faults.
Just getting the horse balanced before that log. That's good, I think, this year that we've moved that log a little bit further back from the water. It's given the riders a chance to be positive to the log, but to steady up before hitting the deep water. So from a safety point of view, I think it was a very good move to do that this year.
Well, that's brilliant. We were saying earlier with Mark, because quite a few riders got wet in that particular water last year, did cause a few hiccups.
Oh, yeah, and unnecessary falls. And this is a fun... Oh, what a shame to have the last. That was expensive, because she was in a very, very strong position.
Well, nevertheless, still into 5th for Olivia Craddock. She can be proud of that performance on Billy Liffey. Of course, 8 seconds has been added into the clock, but it's 5th for Olivia Craddock, and still Tim Price out in front on the Precious One.
There, the ground runs away down to that, and the horses then look right down into the bottom of that ditch, seeing that bright blue ditch. Even though we practice those sort of things at home, in fact, I even practiced this morning with my horse, and he still came in the ring and had a look at that.
When you're practicing at home, is it over those lighter poles above a ditch, or is it something a little bit more solid that you would be using at home?
Well, no, I still have some lighter poles, but I still jumped him over a bright blue ditch. But he seemed to forget about that when he came to the competition. So there you go. What are you meant to do?
Well, it's a great insight, in fact, though, into the preparation. And like you're just saying, on the morning of competition, you're out there and you're practicing.
Absolutely. And I always feel that when I bring these horses out, I don't want to have any regrets. Now, if I hadn't have practiced that this morning, I would be kicking myself. Why didn't I have a practice? But I did, and it happened. So that's life, and that's horses. And here we have Austin O'Connor.
Yeah, Austin O'Connor. It's Ireland again now. Lex Ruddiman Zahiro Yitit Tiveld. Austin for Ireland. 2-time Olympian. Competed in the Olympics in 2008 and in 2000 in Sydney.
I saw Austin earlier, and I said, I don't know this horse, and I'm very pleased that you actually had to pronounce his name, because I think I would have struggled. She said he's done a little bit of eventing, but he had a few injuries, and he mostly show jumps now. So he's the perfect sort of horse for this sort of competition. In fact, that he's had the experience. Oof, goodness, he's very brave. He couldn't care less. He went straight off the side of that bank. But he is a sort of good sort of horse for this side of competition, because he knows the eventing game. But if he's had the experience of going into many show jumping arenas, and he looks a bit like a speed horse, to be honest, the way he's absolutely flying around here. Brave as a lion he is.
Well, nothing to add either at the moment. Has really kept the pace up, was very quick down that bank. They know now they can't afford to take too many pulls if they want to challenge the leader.
Don't want to come in too quick here on such a brave horse there. Yes, he was never really going to look at that ditch, and therefore paid the penalty of just rather whizzing over it. Oh, yep. You can sometimes go across there on one, and he sort of did with a little bit of a guess, but not too fast, and he was okay. That just gives them a little bit of a shock. That's sort of up to their knees, the water in there, so it does give them a shock, but he is going fast. He's, oh, the horse was very clever there, got very, very deep to it.
Comes to the last with just 4 seconds to add. This may not challenge the leader, but nevertheless, a great round. But the last fence goes down, and it's still, though, good enough to put Austin O'Connor into third there with Zero It Tiveld. 8 seconds added in. Otherwise would have been second.
Yeah, he came here, thinking that he was having a good chance to take this class. And it just shows what a level of competition it is now, and the people that have come here, how close it is. And in the old days, if you had a couple down, you were still up in the first 2. Nowadays, people are trying to bring the right type of horses here, because you are needing to be leaving most of the poles up to be taking home the money.
Is it a different challenge? Obviously, prior to 2013, when it used to be the Amlin Plus Eventers Grand Prix, we had show jumpers as well involved in the competition. Now, obviously, it's only open to event riders. And does that change the approach? Is that something now that you look at slightly differently?
Not really, because you still like to beat your own.
Absolutely.
We then used to go around Douglas Bunn's Garden. It was then more of an event course in many ways, because we had the water fences to go through. And for a lot of the show jumpers, that was really unknown territory. And a lot of the show jumpers weren't wanting to take their proper show jumping horses through water. And so few show jumpers ended up taking it on, so it ended up still being eventers against eventers. But I think it's still a very exciting competition, and a lot less work for keeping the fences in this arena rather than having to go around Dougie's Garden.
Well, Abby Walters out on the track at the moment with Perfect Miss Amber, owned by Abby along with Susan Cownley. And Abby, who won individual bronze at the Young Riders European in 2003 out in Poland, was 6th at Barbary this year. And there's another rider that spends a lot of time show jumping as well.
Yes, you could see the turns that she's made. Oh, just made a little bit heavy weather going up the bank there, but she was very quick around those corners, turning back on herself, and kept a very good rhythm, didn't waste any time. So she looks a quick rider, and she's ridden around Burley. She completed Burley last year, so she's used to riding around some big tracks over some big fences. So she's a brave girl. There, just sat up, pointed the horse up, and it just shows with the training with these horses. The horses jump off that bank, they lock on to what is in front of them, and as a rider, as long as you try and get the pace right and keep the balance right, that these horses are so honest, and they will try their very best to jump them. Oh, she was unlucky there. The mare got a little bit flat over that and just gave it a rub. She's a super little horse, really careful. But she stays in a very good balance. She's a very nice rider. I haven't seen a lot of Abby actually, but impressed the ride that she's given this horse.
Well, now onto this sort of long loop that takes them back round to the finish. And these final 3 fences must be quite testing, because you ultimately want to push towards the end, but poles just fall down.
Yes, and like the mare, actually, to be honest, is looking like she's getting a little bit tired, and there just added an extra stride when she came off, and there's getting a little bit flat. She was lucky not to have the last, but actually she, out of all of them, is she's looked a little bit tired. She's a little bit rounder in her frame, so I wouldn't know she's maybe as fit as some of the other ones, but it was a very good round, and well worth coming back to have another go.
Oh, without a doubt. Abby Walters there. Perfect Miss Amber goes into 5th. 138.31 the final time. Well, still some strong combinations to go. We've got 5 left to jump. Tim Price still out in front on the precious one. 122.97 is that leading time. But now it's the ride for Holly Woodhead here with Tintin Belcham's Riverside Vision. And Holly, another very talented young rider, silver.
Oh, she might not have been very pleased with you there. She didn't quite have a stride to that.
The curse of the commentator, I think we're going to put that down to.
Hollywood is a very, very talented rider. Oh no!
Well,
oh no, she'll be so embarrassed about that, being unseated. That was absolutely, totally unseated rider. The horse just flung her up in the air, and she was always going to struggle to get back from that.
Well, glad to see, most importantly, that Holly is straight back on her feet, and hopefully all okay, and the horse as well. But nevertheless, we wouldn't have expected that.
No, look, this is, things can happen when you come in. Holly has but a smile on her face. Oh, it looked totally into the ditch, and she had already gone to take off. And just the way that the horse flung her up in the air. You see jockeys being unseated on the racecourse like that. And, Holly is there supporting Hannah. And you can see the mascot she's got on her back.
Yep.
Hannah Francis, who's seriously ill with cancer. And there's so much support from the whole equestrian world behind her and her charity.
No, great to see once again so many of our superstar riders getting behind that wonderful charity, and all supporting Hannah. But it's not to be today. Bad luck there for Holly, and that means we've got 4 left to go. Now, this is a combination that I thought potentially at the start of the class might be one of the challengers to take overall honours. It's Elizabeth Power here with her Donavera 01. They were last to go last year, had a fence down late on, finished second behind Andrew. But this is a horse that's a former winner of the British Speed Derby. That was with Elizabeth's brother, in fact, Grand National winner Robbie Power. And it's no stranger to this arena, was here in the Derby a month ago.
Absolutely, they would be definitely one of the favourites. If you'd wanted to put some money on, it's possibly too late. She's now started, but she's a very fast rider across country. This is a very good jumping horse, has proved on many occasions its capabilities in this arena. So she doesn't look like she's going that fast at the moment, but she's very deceptive how short turns she's making around the corners. Like there, she picked the horse up even though he came off the bank a little bit awkwardly. He's got so much scope and ability over a big fence as well, so these fences are a little bit like child's play to him.
Big stride as well.
Very, very smart across there. He's got a very long stride, which helps with that distance across there because it's quite a long 2 strides.
Well, 70 seconds as she went over the Horse First Irish Bank. We'll put her in touch with the top of the order.
Oh, they didn't see the greatest stride going in. Just slipped a little bit, got a little bit of lack of balance. She went to go on one. She knew she was going on one. That was totally deliberate by Elizabeth. And the horse jumped the deepest part there. So she is going quick. She's still got to leave them up because she couldn't afford, I don't think, looking at the clock, to have any down. She still needs to leave the fences up.
This is going to be very close, though. 122.97,
yes.
The time to beat. She comes to the final fence. She jumps it clear. We wait for the clock, and we've got a new leader.
Oh!
What a round. Elizabeth Power and Donavera 01, 122.12. Ireland lead the way.
My goodness, that was so close. She would have been kicking herself. I mean, to be that close to Tim Price's time. She's now, I think that smile is relief as well as everything else. Her father, Con, is here, and I think she would have been getting a telling off if she'd missed that by a few seconds.
Well, brilliant jumping from Elizabeth Power there as she now leads the way in the Amlin Plus Aventus Challenge. And you can see just how much that round meant to her. Last year, finished second. This year, she now leads the way. Now, looking back to last year, this man was first to go, and he set an electric time right out of the box. It is Tom McEwen, his Diesel.
Right, Tom's riding a different horse this year to what he rode last year, but Diesel is a top-class event horse. He has had a bit of time off. He's 14 years old now, so he is a very experienced horse. He's a very good jumper. He could go very well here. He was well-placed in the under-25s at Bramham, and this year he won on a lovely young horse. Toledo de Casa, that's a horse, very much a horse of the future, that Tom has been quietly producing away for the future. That this horse is 14 years old, knows his job, and he should be quick. And Tom has done a lot of jumping as well as eventing. He's very stylish. Oh, he got very close to that corner, hit that corner, but he stayed and sat tight. He turned tight into that bank. The thing is, going off this bank straight away, he's wasted time. You can actually keep whizzing around the long route, so sometimes if you're being that cautious, there's not a lot to save, and actually he has had the rail off the hedge there, so that'll be expensive at the end.
Yeah, we saw that a little earlier, because if they stand for 2 or 3 seconds on the top of the bank, you were quicker in some cases just hopping down the longer route.
Exactly. I mean, I chose to whiz round with my horse. I mean, in the end, that didn't make any difference because he had a couple of foals down. But if you can keep moving, that's going to be the best for you. Tom driving him over that big bullfinch. Right in front of the crowds. The crowd there getting a real value for money watching these event horses going round. Tom riding him forward, left that up. The horse wanted to be careful jumping out over that rail. He's going to have to keep moving. I don't think he's going to be quick enough. No, he's definitely not. He's just got to really get going now. He's been a little bit cautious towards the end of the course. And he just needs to seriously get flying now to even be getting in the top 6, to be honest.
Well, yeah, 138. It will get him inside the top 6. There's a bit of a gap between second and third of around about 8 seconds, but nevertheless he's got 4 to add as he comes to the final fence here. Tom McEwen and Diesel then.
Oh.
Yeah, well, they have that final fence down. So in the end, it's 8 to add. It's into 12th and not necessarily into the money there.
Yeah, so he'll be a bit disappointed with that because he would have thought this horse could have posted quite a good result in this class. But saying that, most of us come here with experienced horses and, whoa, he really jumped on the back. Those long 2 strides that the horses then have to put in a massive big jump on that. And our event horses wouldn't see that sort of bank. So it is quite unbalancing.
Well, we've got 2 left to jump in the Amlin Plus Eventers Challenge as Islands Elizabeth Power leads the way on Donavira 01, but she'll know that it's nowhere near over yet with the experience of both these final challengers. The first to go of those 2 is Paul Tapner here with Jenny Waller, Angela Scott and his Bonza King de Rouge. Paul, badminton winner from 2010.
Paul's a very quick rider cross country. This is a 13-year-old. Oh, goodness me. Whew.
He's certainly not hanging around.
Really sitting back and flapping the reins and making sure that the horse was going. They would suddenly see that ditch underneath. But he's wanting to go quick. He hasn't come here just to get the place money. So he knows this horse. He's an experienced horse, originally produced by gold medalist Matt Ryan. But this horse has had quite a bit of time off, but it's a quick horse. It's a clever horse over its fences. So Paul has decided to opt for the quick whiz round, which I really don't think it wastes that much time.
I think that worked for him there. He kept up a very quick pace coming down the back of the bank.
This horse has been to advanced level, even though it has had time off. But it's used to jumping and seeing these sort of fences.
He's in touch.
Oh, really came off there, very unbalanced. But the horse was really careful looking after himself. And, OK, it wasted time just putting in the extra stride. But it's what we look for in an event horse that has self-preservation like that. When they lose their balance, they find a leg and look after themselves.
That must be so important for event riders.
Yeah. He had a real look into that ditch, and there was just a bit unbalanced going through both elements of that dike. And it's a very steep slope coming out, and if the horses do lose their balance, it's very easy to knock those fences down.
And actually, one of the things we've said in the past, but the undulation of this arena, there is a lot of up and downs, just the slope, the gradient on the actual grass itself.
Yes, no, and it is, and in that dike especially. You know, it's been there for years, and many horses have jumped through it, and there's many horses that have taken a dislike to it as well. And there is quite an art to jump through it, even though we're only doing the 2 elements of it. But Paul has done well. It's been a good time. He's been quick, but he has got 8 to add, so he's gone into 7th.
Certainly has. Paul Tapner and Bonza King de Rouge goes 7th, 138.34, the final time. But not to be for Paul Tapner there, as Australia finishing in 7th with 1 left to go. Getting a replay of that attacking style and brilliant ability of the horse just to find its feet. 1 to go in the Amlin Plus Eventers Challenge. A 2-time Olympic individual gold medalist, a man that in fact goes to Rio to compete in his 7th Olympic Games. There's not much this man hasn't done, but he hasn't won the Amlin Plus Eventers Grand Prix or Challenge.
And that is why he is here. I am quite sure. Mark has got, we've all got a lot to organise before going off to Rio, but he hasn't come all the way down to Sussex just to be taking part. He is here to be putting this, adding this to his list of achievements over a very, very established career. But he is a great man to watch. He's a very generous man with his knowledge. If you ever need to ask advice on a course or how you ride something, he is there. And he I would consider him as a friend, as well as somebody that it takes a bit of beating to beat him, and it's a privilege to be competing against him.
Well,
This is one of his very experienced horses, Campino, that is a top level and a 4-star horse, and was one of his horses that were being considered for Rio. So as he's obviously got Leonardo's about to go on the plane tomorrow, which is probably why he thought Campino can have a spin here, I'm quite sure.
well, nothing to add over the early stages. Needs to be on top of this bank in around about 70 seconds to be in touch with our leader, Elizabeth Power. He's perhaps a couple of seconds down at that point. But there's no one better to work out where he can make up that time.
Marcus, as we all know, Marcus already ridden at the top level show jumping as well. And he just needed to be positive behind that horse, and he just was a bit then careless coming out, which was a shame. Whoops, just added an extra stride in there. That's what happens when you're going for a bit of speed. You sometimes don't always get the strides that you're wanting. And when you're in this sort of course, you are wanting to be positive and being competitive. The horses have got to help you out. He should hopefully be getting at the top end of the leaderboard, but I don't think he's not going to be, definitely not quick enough, because Elizabeth Power finished on 1:22.
Well, it is the 4 seconds added in, so fourth is the final position in the end. It's 132.87 there with Campino for Mark Todd as the last to go for New Zealand. So the winner here for 2016 of the Amlin Plus Eventers Challenge. They were second 12 months ago. They take the overall honours this year. Well done to Ireland and Elizabeth Power with Donavira 01. What a great result it is for Ireland there. It's second for Tim Price for New Zealand on the Precious One, and Great Britain finishing in third with Laura Collett and Mr. Bass. Mark Todd in fourth on Campino, and in fifth, Austin O'Connor. It's Ireland again there with Zero Yit Tifeld. Whether it be eventing, show jumping, or these more unique type of competitions, a lady at the very top of her game. And it's a horse that was a former winner of the British Speed Derby. That with brother Robbie, who went on and won the Grand National. But it is a family with great equestrian tradition. Mother Margaret competed at badminton.
So tell me, what's it like out there?
Oh, it's an amazing arena. I've been lucky enough, mostly because of this horse, to have been in it a few times now. And this is my third attempt at this competition, so at last I've won it. We were third, then second last year, and now we got the win, so I'm delighted.
And you were here just a few weeks ago, weren't you?
Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but I said about a quest of trying to jump the Hickstead Derby this year. It came up in the winter, and yeah, he jumped brilliantly. We were 10th in the Derby, so that was like a dream come true to jump the Derby.
And what were your tactics out there today?
Well, I knew Tim had kind of made it very simple just to go fast, because he was very, very quick. So it took out any tactics out of it. You're just going to have to be very quick from early on and keep the foot down, because it was probably one of the fastest times I've seen to try and beat. So we only had one option.
And what is the most challenging fence?
He's an amazing horse in that he's so brave. So if you send him on a gallop to a big ditch or whatever, he'll always come up for you and stuff. And he's very brave in that respect. I was a bit worried about the bank, because he jumped in the actual Derby off the other side. He jumped from the top to the bottom. So he obviously learned his lesson, because he was very clever at it this time round. But I have so much trust and faith in that horse. He's the only horse I think I'd try and jump Derby-sized fences on. So he was brilliant.
And where will you head with him next?
I suppose the Derby next year is going to be my main aim again. We'll obviously try and utilise them and make the most of them in between. I'm obviously busy eventing, so that does get in the way of his show jumping. But yeah, I'd say the Derby in 12 months or 11 months now will be the main focus.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck with that.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, what a brilliant win for Elizabeth Powers there. The Eventers Challenge is always so good to watch. The British Speed Classic is coming up in just a few minutes' time. The riders are actually walking the course behind me as we speak. So don't go anywhere. We'll have that for you in just a few minutes.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Any successful company needs people who are passionate about what they do. As the company grows, we are needing to make helmets that meet multiple safety standards. When new technology comes along, we have to assess whether it really makes a better product. And so therefore, sometimes we embrace technology, and sometimes we decide that the traditional way is still the best way. Charles Owen has a passion for making this a safer world.
At Bun Leisure, you'll find everything you need for a fantastic holiday. Fun, family atmosphere, fabulous entertainment, all in our sunny South Coast seaside location. Book online at bunleisure.co.uk.
Equestrian.com, your first choice for top quality products and brands you can trust. It's where you'll find the most comprehensive range of clothing and equipment for horse and rider, saving you time and money. Whether in the yard at home or competing in your chosen discipline, Equestrian.com is here to help. Equestrian.com, proud sponsors of the iconic Hickstead Derby.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Well, if you have just joined us, a very, very good afternoon and welcome back to the Longines Royal International Horse Show here at Hickstead. The excitement far from over here this afternoon as final preparations underway for the British Speed Classic. It's going to be fast, it's straight against the clock, they're going to be looking for the turns. It is a very different type of competition that requires a very different type of track, and Hannah Wilkes is down on the arena floor with our course designer, Kelvin.
Kelvin, as Adam says, very different type of course.
About jumping the fences and jumping clear rounds over difficult distances and over high fences. This one is more about speed, accuracy, handiness of the horse, and whereas if they have a fence down in this class, then they'll have seconds added rather than faults.
And where do you see the time areas where people can really save some time on this track today?
There's various places from 1 to 2. There's an option there. They can turn as short as they like. Again, turning to fence 5. It's all about what the horse the rider's riding and how they actually make the most of the turns with the horse they've got.
Looking at the list of riders, there's some great speed riders in this class. Mr. Guy Williams, of course, springs to mind. When you see his name on an entry list, you kind of up the difficulty.
I think when we get riders like that in the ring, I think it's lovely to see them taking the options that you've put in, making the turns that you've put, and hopefully producing good rounds and good competition.
Well, we're very much looking forward to it. Thank you very much, Kelvin. Great to talk to you as usual. And we'll head up and join our commentary team for this afternoon. Once again, James Fisher and Adam Cromarty.
Well, Kelvin Bywater, one of the very best in the world when it comes to course designing. Fantastic to have his insight of what we've got to look forward to here for the British Speed Classic. Of course, it really is a team effort, a team of course designers and their assistants working tirelessly throughout the Longines Royal International Horse Show here at Hickstead. You can see there Nicole Pavitt on the left of the screen, Philip Miller's out there. And our riders make their final preparations here in the British Speed Classic. Going to be a very tough track today, but there's lots of spaces where they can really make up some time, and of course turns as well. It's all about turning tight, it's all about pushing on and trying to get home as fast as you possibly can. No faults, it is just time added on to the track. But let's have a look at the runners and riders here in the British Speed Classic. A very strong start. Patrick Stuhlmeier's in there. Francois Matty Jr., of course, he's been competing all over the world. Lily Keenan, 20 years old and super, super talented. Moving on to our next page here, Shane Breen, of course, been part of the story here at Hickstead for so long. Joe Clayton, we saw him a little bit earlier on. Ben Mayer, who's very much on his road to Rio, representing Great Britain with the fantastic Aristo Z. We've got Chloe Winchester, she's had a win or two here over the years. Harriet Nuttall, who had an incredible derby just a matter of weeks ago on this very stage. Yasmin Pinchin's in the mix, Dorian Coopers, Philip Miller, who of course we saw earlier on, just miss out on a win here during the Royal International Horse Show. Anna Power will funnel as well with the wonderful Billy Cool. Going to be so exciting here this afternoon. There's more to come as well. Let's have a look. Anthony Condon, Joe Whitaker, Guy Williams and Casper Demuse. Now that horse is super quick. Of course, we've seen him win the Speed Derby back in 2015. Anthony Condon, Chinook II. And here's the last. Here's the ones that get that pole position. Always an advantage in a speed competition. Getting to jump near the end. We've got Trevor Breen, Holly Smith, who you may know as Holly Gillett, Nicole Pavitt, and Billy Tumi. Really is going to go right to the wire. James Fisher alongside me. You've had a little look on that track, James. It's going to be a good one, isn't it?
Yep, it's not out and out speed. Maybe in the rider's mind it will be, but when you walk the course, the fences are just big enough to make them just pay attention. Because
Sure.
In the past we've seen this. If you really go foot to the floor, it's very, very chancy whether you'll get all the way around without knocking something out. The list today is sort of weighted. We'll get the very, very fast ones at the end. They're the ones that qualify with the most points. So we might see a few in the beginning, being a little bit on the careful side, but perhaps hoping that they'll get a place for their efforts, you know. But a mixed bunch, but some real fiery ones in there towards the end. We're going to see some exciting rounds, I think.
Yeah, it's always interesting, speed competitions, because you want to be clear, but if you do have the odd reel, you could still take the victory. And as you say, I mean, although this is a speed competition, it's still a jumping competition. There's some really tough tests out there. They're going to have to be careful in those tight turns. And even on the runs. I mean, when you look at this course, we start with a fence right by the Derby Bank, an Oxer, and you have to pay attention really all the way around. It goes from there, a tight turn back to number 2, and then number 3 is quite a square Oxer. And in your mind, you're trying to go as fast as possible, but at the same time, you've got to really prop the horses back up again to jump the fences. So be interesting to see how the first few approach this track. But I think in the first 10, there'll be 1 or 2 people that won't go absolutely wild at this course, but they'll try and give the horse a nice run round without hanging around to too much. Well, it is Patrick Stuhlmeyer who gets us underway. There's Savage the 8, got some Saltaire lines in there, and it's a horse that we've seen in Rome and Aachen just over the last few weeks. He's trained with Otto Becker, and he gets us underway here in the 2016 edition of the British Speed Classic.
So it's a long way round, and we start, as I said, at this brown and white Oxer at the foot of the Derby Bank, and then spin back to the second fence, which is a vertical. Now the riders that are really looking to sort of make an impact on this course, they'll be counting the strides around the corners.
Sure.
He's had an extra stride there to that double.
He's moving, but he's not galloping.
No, you can float on 7 strides to that double, which obviously would be a little bit quicker. And then quite an open double here of 2 strides. So you can take that one at speed if you're brave enough. Up the hill, similar line to what we saw in the Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
6 strides. And then we turn back down the hill over quite what we call a skinny Oxer, so you can actually take that at an angle without sort of risking too much harm. A
That
little
was
bit of a
interesting
swing
there.
back
Yeah.
to that vertical. You know, a little bit slippery. If you really sling the horses about, you've got the danger of losing a leg. Inside to this final line, vertical.
Comes down for Tumad.
And a long run to the last fence, which the course builders like. And I think we're going to see that ridden out pretty quick.
Well, we see the clock stop on 82.66. 4 seconds added on, of course, this being under Table C rules. That converts to 86.66 for Patrick Stuhlmeier, who gets us underway.
It's a long way round. And to go that distance flat out is hard. And you could see in front of the Longines Hospitality, that vertical going down. That's a decent vertical to come inside to, having galloped all the way around the ring. So these obstacles need jumping.
Well, we can see the top of Francois Matisse Jr. joining us now. Francois, who jumps all over the world. We saw him at Spruce Meadows earlier this summer. Started riding at the age of 8. He's been to the World Equestrian Games. He's been to the World Cup final. Probably in recent years best known for Polinska de Ziel, but it is Falco van de Kleehove he has with him today.
Yeah, and he's setting off at a fair old pace already. I mean, Francois, I can't think he spends too much time at home, because I was in Knocket in Belgium last week and he was there and had been there for a few weeks, and had also been in Falsterbo, so he's certainly living out of a suitcase just at the moment.
No, his family do travel with him when they can, and I think that's so important now, because all these athletes, they are away so much.
Yeah, not working out, but it's quite difficult to keep a nice rhythm in this ring. You know, 1 minute you're going up and then down the hill, and there you have in mind to jump across that fence. But Francois probably, with the 2 fences down prior to that, would have been very hopeful if he thought he was going to get in the lineup. But
in this type of competition, would you be thinking now perhaps to retire, or?
I think he's happy to sort of just let the horse to a few fences, not against the clock. Some of these horses, they are classified as speed horses, and they always end up going sort of foot to the floor nearly every time they go out in the arena.
Sure.
So if you do happen to have a fence down, it's quite wise to perhaps treat the rest of the course as a bit of a training round and restore a little bit of balance. And that's why Francois finished the round off. And
so finish on a good note.
Yeah.
Verling comes forward next then. Of course, part of the team for the Netherlands that represented at the London Games in 2012. Just an 8-year-old, this one. It is Dallas VDL. Third to go here in the British Speed Classic. Not a great start.
Absolutely not. It's sort of thing you find at Hickstead, really. It's horses just perhaps lose a bit of concentration. There's so much to look at. You've got that bank and the big banner on the grass there, but
of course, under international rules, Table C, no penalty for that first disobedience. You really are just wasting your own time.
Yeah, he's probably is one of the fastest riders on the circuit. I mean, he's won so many classes over the years, and he certainly knows how to ride a course like this. But it depends what you're riding, and I think he went in today to give this horse a good bit of experience and to let it flow and just bring it on a bit. Everybody's sort of got a different agenda. As you work down the list, you're going to get a lot of riders that are really going in to win that €8,000 to the winner purse, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely. Just saw the second part of the double come down there, so 4 seconds to add on.
Yeah, the horse is just slightly what we call backing off. It's just not really taking the bridle and jumping off his legs. So he's working very hard to get the horse to take the bridle. It's so much easier when they're pulling at you than when you're having to kick at them.
You can see he's really steadied up. It sort of turned into a schooling round, I think, after that stop, didn't it? As we said before.
Yeah, you know,
use of
there's
it.
nothing else you can do. I mean, he's just trying to get the horse to flow a little bit more, and it's all good experience. It's not often you get the chance to ride in an arena like this. Probably next for the next.
Well, 112 seconds, and with the time added, 120.07. But we'll keep an eye on that one in the future. But for now, it is Wout-Jan van der Schans that comes forward. Of course, he's been part of the sport for so many years. We saw him at the Games in 1998. His father was involved with the sport as well, and it's a 9-year-old that comes forward for him. Cape Verde, Wout-Jan van der Schans for the Netherlands. Some big names still to feature here as well. Harriet Nuttall always goes so well on this track. We've got Joe Whitaker coming forward, Guy Williams, Trevor Breen, all in the mix, and already 4 seconds to add.
Yeah, I did say the first fence and the second fence, actually. I suppose the first 3 fences, they're certainly ones you've got to really concentrate on jumping, because quite often in speed class, you at least get a few easy ones to get going with. But the first fence is one that makes horses back off. And we've got 2 horses already that have had trouble. The nice thing about the table C, you know, you have a chance to sort of make up ground, and you've only got the seconds added. But I'm sure with what we've got to come, it's not going to really bring a lot. I don't think. I think it's going to get pretty fine towards the end of this class.
Yeah, without a doubt. So still just the 4 to add. As we push down over the last, 74.34 corrects to 78.34. And again, just that one rail coming down, just the 4 seconds been added into that time. A little rub there. While we go to the United States of America, Lily Keenan joins us now with this 10-year-old called Be Gentle. Spent a lot of time in the States, and their system of kind of education is a little bit different. I know Lily started in the Hunters and the equitation, and she won just about everything in that. And you can kind of tell she always looks immaculate, no matter what she's doing. Her horse looks immaculate, she looks immaculate. Probably best known for pumped up kicks that she recently sold to Jennifer Gates, who's now campaigning it nationally and internationally in the US.
Well, the majority of the American riders, they start off in these equitation classes, and that gives them this great seat and balance, and it's something they don't lose all the way through their career. And she's cracking on, and she's a couple of seconds ahead of Wout-Jan at this point.
Yep. She's been riding with Keane O'Connor recently.
Yeah, Keane's busy here walking the course and pointing out the margins to be made. Nicely done across the corner there. It's just you just got the danger of just losing a leg. It's a bit of a chicane turn.
This is quick so far. Who she's on? Down to the last. Super round. She is so talented. 69.71. There's our first clear. It is Lily Keenan and Be Gentle. 69.71. I don't think that'll be quite quick enough to do it today, but what a super try. And she, of course, is our new leader here in the British Speed Classic. It could be fast enough.
That was a beautiful round. She did 8 strides to the last. Just let the horse open up its stride. Here you see over the last fence. That was quick. It's probably deceptively quick, and it's a long way around this arena. It's, you know, to beat that time, they've got to start to take some risks on the turns. I think that's going to feature in the top few.
It'll be in the lineup without a doubt. Shane Breen comes forward now. As we mentioned the last time we saw Shane earlier on today, he's been part of the story here for so long. Wife Chloe, of course, son Dougie, daughters all involved as well. It really is a family business for them.
Yeah, this horse jumped the Derby with Shane, so I don't think we'll be seeing this horse take a dislike to anything in here, because when you jump the Derby, you've seen it all.
Little touch there, down it comes, so 4 seconds added on.
Now this will be interesting to see how Shane does the rest of the course, because he's going to try and make up some of that time he's lost, and it'll just give us an idea of the overall time that we might be looking at.
Do you think these days that people still have speed horses that they just keep for speed classes?
I think they're a little bit more than speed horses. You know, on the 5-star shows, you need a speed horse that can jump a Grand Prix.
This isn't far away, you know. 69.71 to beat, 4 seconds to add. But it's a good time, isn't it?
That was quick, that's what I said. It's worth watching what Shane does, because that's around about the target time to look at for winning this class. He was extremely quick.
So with the 4 seconds added in, it is 71.45. Slips into second behind Lily Keenan. Shane Breen there with acoustic solo. Balu Bay just taking the first part of that double down.
Yeah, into that double you can do 7 strides, and it's quite open, and you know, if you take 8 you're a lot safer, but to take that risk, that's what happens, you know, it just leaves you a bit flat.
Now to the 9-year-old. It is to Joe Clayton we go. Million in Mind. This one by Ard VDL Douglas. He's really building up such a top string. Now having the ride of Conman JX as well, the old rider Jeff Billington.
Yeah, Joe won the Grade C final last year at the Horse of the Year show with this. So it's a horse he's produced and knows well. And around like this is all part of its education. You know, it's a great opportunity to get in this ring and to get the horse more familiar with it. He's letting it run nicely through there.
Close on time as he lands there.
Now this is where Shane was really quick. He really sliced this skinny oxer. Nicely done. You need some decent studs to go around this course and take these turns like this.
69.71. Not going to be quite quick enough.
Took the extra stride on that last line and still had it. We saw Lily Keenan and Shane go down on 8 strides, and Joe decided to take the 9 just to be sure, and then still had the fence, so he'd be annoyed about that.
Well, slips into third, 78.09, so Lily Keenan leads, Shane Breen sits second, it is Joe Clayton in third at the moment. Ben Mayer comes now, he is on his roads to Rio, getting ready to represent Great Britain, but making a little stop here at the Longines Royal International Horse Show with Jane Forbes Clark. So Risto Z.
Now you're just saying that the people keep out and out speed horses, and this is a fine example of a Grand Prix speed horse. It's a great sort of utility horse. It's one that can do a Grand Prix, but wins so many classes on the 5-star shows with Ben. You know, 1 rounders against the clock, and see this horse is also having a look at number 1. There's something a bit suspicious to the horses as they approach that oxer.
I didn't get a chance to walk all the way up there, but from the way it looks on the screen, they really are jumping straight into the bank.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, and there's 1 or 2 people sort of just ring stewards that are there. That just, you never know what the horses see. Really tight back to that vertical.
Just earlier this month, had a great win with this horse in Estral, 5-star level.
I was there actually, Adam, and that's also a ring a bit similar to Hickstead. You know, very, very unusual things for the horses to look at. Ben really steering that round the corner.
You can hear the riders in the balcony there saying, "Come on, come on."
Well, Aristo's not been the easiest to steer, and this is a difficult line to get straight to. Now can he do the
quick.
8?
He is quick. Pushes on down. Clears that final fence, 67.22. You can see he breathes a sigh of relief as Ben Mayer takes over the lead with Aristo Zed. Fantastic horse, great rider.
And that's why he's won so many classes on his horse. It's really talented. It's got enough power and scope to jump a Grand Prix, and that's just what you need when you're just coming down to jumping this speed track. You want lots of ability to play with because you're going to take chances, and you just need that extra power to get you out of trouble.
To push over.
I mean, that's the quickest around the course. That's quicker than Shane. So that's definitely something they've got to take chances to beat.
Well, on her approach now, it is on to Chloe Winchester. Now, this one's just an 8-year-old. It is actually Van Velkelhof Z coming forward next for Chloe.
Yeah, it's a horse that's owned by Julie Biddle, and Chloe's had this for a couple of seasons. This would be, one of the first times it's tackled a course like this in this arena. So she's going to probably go around with a little bit of caution, but just try and keep it tight on the corners.
When you're schooling these young horses at home, what sort of things can you do to help them in speed competitions? Is there any exercises or anything that you can use?
Well, you tend to sort of take them to places for the education. You can do a bit, obviously some gymnastics, and if you're fortunate enough to have a nice field at home with some jumps, they learn a lot, just from home. But you've really got to get them out and let them see different arenas, and some horses adjust to it better than others. But arenas like Hickstead, there's not too many places that you can sort of get the same sort of feel. There's more and more all-weather surfaces now to jump, so it's very difficult to mimic what you find at Hickstead.
Well, nice round. She really is happy with that. 85.90, a little bit steady, but for an 8-year-old, I mean, I think overall, very nice.
Yeah, she'll be pleased with that. She's made sure she's jumped all the fences, didn't take any real chances, and with the seconds to add and everything, it's possible she ends up with a lower place just by jumping clear.
Well, we move on now to Harriet Nuttall. She had such a great tournament at the Hickstead Derby just a few weeks ago. It is Galway Bay Jet that she brings with her today. Harriet Nuttall, such a talent, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, and this horse is potentially her best horse. And so, we won't see her absolutely going crazy around this track, but she'll probably try and be, quick enough to get a place. But she's so competitive, she'll be... it'll be very difficult for her to sort of take that extra caution, because she's so used to flying around this ring in the speed derbies, and we've seen her many times win speed classes all over the country.
Is she still training with Di Lampard? I don't know if she was for a while.
Yeah, but she's been so busy on the shows, it's hard to and with Di out and about, on the teams, it's very difficult when the summer gets going to actually do any training with anybody. But she's always got some lovely horses to ride, and this has impressed many people, at home and abroad. She had a very good time with it on the Sunshine Tour in Spain, and has moved up to Grand Prix, and it looks like it is her best horse, but she's just having to play around with it, and play about with the levels in order to just bring it to the point where she can treat it as a number one. But it's unbelievably talented, as you can see.
Flies over the last. It is 74.63. Goes into fourth place at this stage. Harriet Nuttall in Galway Bay Jet. So Ben Mayer leads the way at this stage with Aristo Z. It is Lily Keenan and Be Gentle in second for the USA. And Ireland Shane Breen currently in third. Acoustic Solo Dubalo Bay. So a lot of action still to look forward to here in the British Speed Classic. We'll be right back here on Sky Sports.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show. Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Welcome back to the Longines Royal International Horse Show, where we currently enjoy the British Speed Classic for 2016. Ben Mayer leads the way, 67.22 to beat. Lily Keenan sits in second, Shane Breen's in third. It's Great Britain, USA and Ireland sitting at the top as we rejoin the action as we come on to William Funnel next. This one, Billy Cool, of course, one that's been bred at the Billy Stud by Billy Congo. And William, who's certainly no stranger to this stage, a former winner of the Hickstead Derby.
Yeah, Williams jumped this in a few two-star classes, and it had some really good results. It's one he's been riding for a couple of years. So, you know, I would think that he would have done his homework and got this horse familiar with a ring like this.
Yeah.
He's got so many to ride really at the moment. I don't know how he does it. He's got quite a few riders. You know, we saw Lucy Bunn with Billy Buckingham, and he's got so many horses really to think about. It's quite difficult to focus on any one in particular.
And he's always at shows as well, so it must be really hard to kind of juggle that calendar.
It's certainly got some of the Billy Congo talent to it. This horse, it's got real quality.
Do you think the speed competitions, do you think they're quite a good transition as well, if you've been riding at two-star level, to come and do a speed class, because it is obviously only one round? And you've kind of got the option, you don't have to go for it, you don't have to gallop.
No, it's a very nice class to actually get the horses freed up. You know, the fences, they're just big enough to take notice, but you see William really taking a chance to the last. He's got it on the 8 strides, he really went for it.
71.22 for William Funnel.
You know, it actually improves horses to actually let them go against the clock, and it gives them confidence. You know, sometimes if you go penalty back, having a great season with our other good horse Blazer, she always seems to find a real cracking horse year after year. Her former horse Diaghilev now winning all over the world with Billy Tumi.
Just fighting a little bit in that turn.
Yeah, it's a very unnatural turn. You know, it's you've come over that boxer in the middle, turning right, and then you've got to turn left and back up the hill. You've really got to sling them around.
That was unlucky. It really was, having that fence down. She goes into 6th place with a 4 seconds added to the time. 77.3. Funnel. Yeah.
Tumbler. So she's got some up-and-coming horses as well, but her main one, Van der Vivaldi, always competitive in the Grand Prix. Ashkar is also a Grand Prix horse, so he's got lots of experience really at this level.
Yep, finished 4th in the Grand Prix at Bolesworth with this horse.
And she's not really taking too many chances, but she's hoping to really to be quick enough. Oh, and clear, but she's just chipped the back rail on the Oxer.
Could have really controlled the back end in that turn.
Yeah, this is the hardest part of the course really. You've sort of got 3 turns really.
Sort of almost an S.
Yeah.
Well, again, just one coming down, 4 seconds added on. Still goes top 10 at this stage into 9th place with that corrected and final time of 80.43 for Great Britain's Yasmin Pinchin. And we're next turn with his 10-year-old colt, Bailey.
Now this is giving an exhibition in jumping.
Yes.
The only thing when you jump so high, you're actually not quite as quick. That was a real tight turn.
Round about neck and neck at this stage, I think.
Yeah, this horse has got a slightly shorter stride than Ben Mayer's Aristo. Lands a bit pitchy after the fence, and that also costs you a little bit of time. But it's quick. And a very tight turn. And will he risk it to this vertical? Because this is a horrible turn.
You've got to.
Oh, and he's done it.
Pushes on. It's really close. Has he? Oh, not quite quick enough into 2nd place. 68.13. It's into 2nd there. Doran Coopers and Bailey. So that leaves Ben Mayer at the top. Lily Keenan goes down into 3rd place.
That was a great round. It was really length of stride. This horse was jumping so well that if anything it was losing a bit of time in the air and just losing a bit of time on landing as well.
Yeah.
I think horses that can run and jump, they're just slightly quicker, but a great round.
This is one who generally is always quick. Philip Miller coming forward. Started riding at the Philip Miller for Great Britain.
Yeah, this is a fast combination. Brendan stud-bred horse, and Philip could be very quick on this one. He's probably still a bit niggled with having that fence down, which cost him the Queen Elizabeth today.
Yes,
so
he's out for it now.
He's out for it, yes. Just arguing a little bit on the turns with Philip.
Just sat really quietly through the double there.
Yeah, it's difficult to know what to do when you're sort of you're halfway in the draw and you've had a fence down and you know there's a few that are already much quicker. You're sort of undecided whether to sort of keep going at a pace or to sort of wave the flag.
Little tap there. I think he got away with that one though. That's still up at the moment. Going to make it into the top 10. Yep. So just the 4 seconds to add. 76.80 is the time. And in fact, that just slips just outside the top 10 into 11th place there for Philip Miller, Sussex Cartino.
Yeah, it's difficult to know what to do, but it's nice that Philip finished at pace. He finished as he started, and that's what the crowd like to see.
Well, we're getting set to go to Ireland next, to a combination that went very well in Dublin, finishing in the top 6 of the Anglesey Stakes there. It is Chinook II, Anthony Condon. Really nice 9-year-old, this one. One who's been campaigning nationally and probably more internationally of late. 67.22 still the time to beat, with Ben Maher sitting at the top in the British Speed Classic for 2016. It's interesting because that one didn't even look at anything there.
He didn't, and probably a good job. Anthony was sort of riding it quite sort of steady, ready to the first. He's certainly not off as we might have expected. He's going to give this horse a nice round if he can, without taking too many chances. But he's not the only one to have that going into the double. That's one perhaps the remainder of the riders can really learn from, because it's just a little bit of a flat stride going into that double. And it was never his intention really to romp round this course, just finish the rest of the round and just try and put a bit of training into
really quick one still to come though, but we're coming to the final fence here in the British Speed Classic for Anthony Condon and Chinook II. 4 seconds to add. It is 16 combinations gone so far, and I think this one is just starting to get exciting, because we're going to be going to a very quick combination next. 67.22 to beat. Ben Maher still up at the top. Jana Frederik Meyer comes forward now. This one, Cole Chloe representing Germany.
Yeah, they've got so many good riders and horses. This horse has taken a dislike to the first already, so Jana will have to really have a leg on it. But yeah, they've got so much depth in their horses and riders. It's amazing, you know, that they can actually put Meredith Michaels, somebody like that, at reserve. It just shows the strength that you've got.
I think they've got a really good training system over there, haven't they? They've got some horses that are owned by the government, and they put a lot of investment into training their equestrian riders.
Yeah, it's a big sport in Germany, and they've got great owners and a great breeding program.
Starting to really cover ground, this one. 67.22 to beat.
Not going to threaten the leader, but
no.
She's doing a good job, because this horse isn't the easiest to turn.
Pushes on down.
Comes down to the last line.
Well, she gets the clear, but she goes into 6th place, 71.74.
Bit of grimacing. It certainly gave her a tough ride round there.
Looks like a horse that really covers the ground, but perhaps not the easiest to get the tight turns or get the angles.
No, but that certainly would have done it good. She's had some great rounds in this arena. She was here with the great Lambrusco a few years ago. And she's got a wonderful horse now at the top level. So she's obviously got great strength in her string.
Well, Joe Whitaker there looking very relaxed and getting ready to be underway here with his 9-year-old Lavarno. Of course, he's got a great string at the moment, including Lola, who's been going very well for him internationally. Had a great win with this horse, though, just a week or two ago at 2-star level.
Yeah, this is actually the full sister to Lola.
Ah, okay.
So it's by Lacano.
Whoa.
Oh, just went a bit green there for Joe. So again, Joe's got to try to nurse it round for the rest of the round, and just it's extremely difficult. But if you've got a good speed horse during a year, you can really earn good money. But if you're jumping on 5-star level, you know, the old-fashioned speed horse certainly needs to have a lot of scope, because there's nothing really very small at these big competitions. It's nearly all sort of 145 upwards.
There's a few T6 into 9th place there for Joe Whitaker, so it does make up a little bit of time as he heads round and goes into 9th place at this stage. Trevor Breen, Guy Williams, Billy Tumi, Nicole Pavitt, Holly Smith, all still to feature here, all forming the cast of the British Speed Classic.
Yeah, Joe just wanted to cut across, and you know, when it all goes right, it looks so easy, and then when they look an idiot.
Don't know too much about this one.
Yeah, Ruben is the son of Bert Rump, that was such an influential team member for Holland for many years, and wins a lot of classes on the continent. That's an early one to have down. I said to you, all these fences, they just need a little bit of jumping. That's very, very square, that third fence. I think if you look at the past years of this class, you know, it's been quite testing, and it's not just been about, you know, speed. I know we've got Ben Mayer out in front on Aristo, which is fast, but not fast like the old-fashioned sort of table Cs that we're used to seeing.
It's a thinking course.
Yeah, and some really difficult turns, and when you turn in, you're really asking big questions.
So not going to trouble our leaderboard today as we come down to the last with 8 seconds to add on. It is 71.50, corrects to 79.50 the time there. Goes into 12th place. Into 12th there for Ruben Romp, Audi's Dimple, representing the Netherlands. Just a little bit close there. Was he coming into that oxer?
Well, it's very difficult. You know, when you're trying to sort of go fast and you've got a very, very square oxer, you need the horse on its toes. You need it to snap off and, you know, be very, very quick in its action. And it's easy to rub the front rail off like that.
Now, it's wide open here, but if you'd asked me at the beginning if I had to put a pin in the start list and pick one, this might have been it. This one is always quick. Former winner of the Speed Derby, Guy Williams, next to go, representing Great Britain, with Casper de Meuse.
Well, Guy, you know, really gets his horse by the scruff of the neck, and he goes for it. He does exactly what he says he's going to do. And he's a fighter, and he'll really give this his best shot. He's been a bit cautious to that double, because we've seen that go a bit. Now he's going to let the break off, take a bit of a chance here.
Good turn.
Now he's going to make up the time.
Looks so determined, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's taking the inside line. Oh, he's gone a little bit deep to that.
4 to add. It's not over, though. It is not over.
It's a difficult turn. You know, the turn's always going away from you, and that's not an easy gate to turn up to. Again, he got a little bit sticky to that oxer. So that's the thing. If you're taking chances, sometimes it comes off, and other times it doesn't. He probably wanted this horse to be pulling him a little bit more than it was.
So 8 seconds to add at this stage as we push on down to the last. And finishes 69.92, corrects to 77.92. Still on our leaderboard, though, heading into 8th place. Had he left the fences up, he would have done enough.
Yeah, he was quick. He always is quick. Sometimes it.
Well, we've got some very quick horses still to come, and of course we will find out if Great Britain has done enough. Will Ben Mayer be crowned the winner of the British Speed Classic? Find out as the action continues in just a few moments here on Sky Sports.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Omega Rice is a rice bran and linseed supplement that maintains condition, healthy skin, a shiny coat and is easily added to your horse's normal feed. It's suitable for competition horses, veterans and fussy feeders. You'll find only the highest quality ingredients and everything is manufactured to the highest standards in our UFAS and Beta-NOPS approved factory. Omega Rice is used and recommended by many top riders, including Olympic gold medalist Ben Mayer. For more information, visit omegarice.com.
Bun Leisure, proud broadcast sponsor of the Longines Royal International Horse Show.
Welcome back as the British Speed Classic prepares to come to a climax for 2016. Billy Tumi, Nicole Pavitt, Holly Smith, all still to come. But for now we go to Ireland. It is the 12-year-old Irish sport horse Old Town KC. Trevor Breen joins us just back from Valkenswaard. He's got a great string of horses at the moment. It is 67.22 to beat, and if you have just joined us, it is Great Britain's Ben Mayer at the top of our leaderboards at this stage. Doran Cooper's in second for the Netherlands, Lily Keenan sitting in third for the USA.
Yes, these last four really we can watch because they're all speedy Gonzales. Oh, he's
four to add.
Not the best start for Trevor. This has been off with a bit of a bruised foot in more recent times. It was third yesterday in the qualifier, so he knows how to go quick, but as we've seen a few horses have that first fence down, that the course builder certainly hasn't opted for the old-fashioned cross poles with a high rail. You know, it's a real stiff fence, that is, and he's decided to call it a day. It's not really worth chasing around when you know you've got no chance of winning anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that horse, it's got the experience. It probably doesn't need a school round in this over, because, as you said, I mean, we've got some really quick ones still to come. Holly Smith comes forward next. I know I said it earlier, but just in case you weren't with us, some of you may know her as Holly Gillett. Got married, I think it was 3 weeks ago, something like that. It is Carlos who comes forward, though. Holly Smith represents Great Britain.
Yeah, she'll be full of confidence after that second in the Queen Elizabeth. And this obviously is quick. She was second yesterday in the qualifier, and all these ones, they're at the end of the list for that reason. They've won the most points. So she can be quick. Come on, the 7 strides to that double, and she got away with it. Now she's just got to keep rolling, keep running. It's the right type of horse as a speed horse, isn't it? It looks a quickie.
Holly's such a talented athlete, she really is. A little bit unlucky.
Yeah, it's all over now. But you just got to take these chances if you're going to try and catch Ben. There's 3 very good rounds sat at the front there, and it's
and Carolus. 2 combinations left to go. Ben Mayer somewhere out there will be looking on, waiting to find out if he has done enough to take the British Speed Classic. Will it be his year? Could it be Billy Tumi? Or could it be Nicole Pavitt?
Well, Nicole Pavitt's on Victor Blue today, and this horse has won some really good classes. This is fast. 14 years old now. It's you know, is he in his prime? It's one that certainly has got the ability and the speed to be quick enough. But Nicole's nursing a bit of a chipped bone in the ankle, so it's not easy to race around this course with a bad leg. She's having a job to hold this one back.
I think when we saw her earlier on, it might just be the angle I saw, but I think she's actually riding with one strip longer than the other just to help her ankle a little bit.
It's a tough little horse to ride this. It certainly takes some pulling and wagoning around the corners.
She's riding every single stride.
Now this is that very tricky turn to the gate. He's just got to be a bit careful here. Got away with it.
67.22.
Just got to slice this skinny oxer. This is where Ben was very quick.
Oh. That's a shame. 4 seconds to add on. Little slip
just
there.
Lost a leg. That's where you need some decent studs.
Yeah.
She's still pretty quick. Would she have been quick enough? Not quite.
Go on.
She's...
She saw that coming, didn't she?
Yeah, she wasn't sort of confident in letting it go. It was just slightly deviating. And I suppose in her mind, she'd had one down. She felt that, you know,
it's not worth the risk.
She wasn't going to win it. It wasn't worth it, no.
So you just give her a little pat, said, you know, let's go and try again.
When you've got real pain in a leg or an arm and you're riding, and you've had a fence down like that, you know, you feel it more.
Yeah, definitely. The adrenaline probably drains a little bit. 94.79, and again, look at disappointment. Big pat though, and she slips off the leaderboard as she takes a deep breath and looks forward to being back here again very soon. I'm sure we might see her in the King George tomorrow, but for now we are going to find out if the win will be going to Great Britain or will it be going to Ireland. We have one more combination to feature in the British Speed Classic. It is to Billy Tumi, it is to Thomas, last to go. Is it all over?
Well, Billy was pretty cool when I saw him earlier. He was just having an ice cream just before we were walking the course. It's a horse owned by Michael Bates when he actually bred, I think. And, you know, it's a fairly decent horse. Whether it's going to be quick enough to beat Ben is something else. But he's certainly got a good stride and he's motoring. He's quick. Brilliant turn there, just stood off that gate. No, he's certainly in touch. This is where you've got to take a bit of a chance. He's got away with it. No wheel spins around here. No, he's quick.
He is quick. This is close. 67.22 to beat.
He's got to come down on the 8 strides.
Push, push, push. Go. Has he? We're going to find out. He clears the final fence. Yes, he has. 67.21. A good old fist pump says
cruel,
it all.
Isn't it?
There's your winner. It goes to Ireland. Billy Tumi and Thomas. It went right to the wire.
Oh, that's cruel. 100th second.
I think you might have another ice cream.
They've got to take that rug off Aristo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that result is confirmed. There's your winner on screen, Billy Tumi and Thomas, 67.21. The horse was saying, let me at them, let me at them.
Well, he was the fastest qualifier, and
I
he
thought
was
we were
cool.
going to see that fist pump again. We did.
He was certainly cool about that, Billy, because I saw him earlier, and he wasn't really sort of pacing around. He was the last one to go into the course. He was taking it very cool.
Well, that result is confirmed here in the British Speed Classic. There's your winner. He gets that sash on here this afternoon. And there'll be lots of celebrations in the Tumi camp tonight.
And the Bates camp. Michael Bates will be thrilled.
Yeah, he will. He will.
He's a great supporter of British show jumping.
Fantastic owner. So there's the sash. There's the winner. And there's the winner's rug going on that wonderful horse. But let's have a look at that result. And there it is. Billy Tumi confirmed our winner of the British Speed Classic, 67.21. Our long-time leader, Ben Mayer, he will be disappointed. He finishes in second as he gets ready to represent Great Britain in Rio, 67.22, 100th of a second. And there's the lower placings there with Harriet Nuttall, Anna Power, Joe Whitaker, Guy Williams. There's some really quick ones in there, but 100th of a second, it's not much.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's sort of... You're going through the finish together, really. I think if you were to see a head-to-head, Ben had trouble with his horse in the beginning, turning, 1, 2, 3, and then he gained speed. I think Billy was very quick in the beginning, and his horse really covered the...
And he was faster in the qualifier. He's faster here today. Many congratulations there to Billy Tumi and Thomas. It's been a great week of international sports so far here at the Longines Royal International Horse Show. The King George IV Cup still to look forward to here as well. And we're going to go down now to Hannah as she joins Billy Tumi, your winner of the British Speed Classic.
Well, Billy, nothing like winning it right at the last second. That was a fantastic round.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure if I'd done it or not, but the horse jumped amazing. And he was really clean and careful everywhere, so I'm delighted with the result today. That's his second win of the show and my third win of the show, so far it's going okay.
Great day at the office today. Actually won the class this morning as well. I know we say it a lot when it comes to speed classes, but last in the order, how much of an advantage was that?
Well, at least you know what you've got to do, if nothing else, but you still got to go and do it. But he's really competitive. He's really, looking for the fences when you're turning him, which saves time. He's quick over his fences, which also saves time. So he really performed out of his skin today. So delighted with that.
He really did. They built quite a tricky track out there. There are quite a few spooky fences, some horses not liking them. Could you see a few problems out there?
I think he seems to be a really Hickstead horse. Some horses don't really take to this ring and some love the ring. And he won at the Derby meeting here a couple of weeks ago, so he really likes these big grass arenas. And 10-year-old mare Lizzie Mary, she's pretty inexperienced at the higher level, but she performed really good at the beginning of the week. So she's had a good prep, so hopefully she'll go well tomorrow.
And that one tomorrow is such a prestigious class. What would it mean to add that to your tally of wins for the week?
Yeah, it's the one to win really. There's a lot of history in the class in this great show, and it'd be really good to get amongst the previous winners of the class. That'd be great.
Well, good luck for tomorrow. Congrats again on today. Enjoy that presentation.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Well, thanks to Hannah, thanks to Billy. He's your winner. Billy Tumi and Thomas take the British Speed Classic for 2016. Such an exciting year in the whack in the saddle there as he makes his way down the funnel, and he's about to lead in our presentation here in the international ring here at the Longines Royal International Horse Show. Just as we get ready for presentation, James, reflecting on Rio for a second, what do you think our chances are?
I think we've got a really good chance. I mean, people have been talking about how old the team is, but really it makes no difference.
No.
It depends on the quality of the horses and the riders, and we've got great quality on both sides there. Let's hope they all arrive in Rio fit and well. Michael's a little bit sore at the moment with some cracked ribs, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. You need people that are going to handle the pressure in the Olympics, and we've got so much experience with those four riders.
Yeah.
And they're riders, not athletes. So maybe from other sports, people are thinking, they're pretty old to be doing that. It absolutely makes no difference. I think for us, they're rich in experience. And quality.
And that's so important in our sport.
Yeah, fingers crossed we'll do very well. John Whitaker's Ornalea is a really talented mare, and I think that perhaps she could have done with one more season, but she's one of the best horses in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky with the quality. And Big Star, I saw jump in Canoca in Belgium last week with Nick Skelton.
So good to see him back.
Jumped amazing,
He
really.
is back.
It just reminded me of how amazing a horse it is.
Yeah, he had it out in Florida at the beginning of the year and jumped a couple of classes out there, but I think really in the last kind of month or two, it really has come back. Turning our attention back to the presentation though, and there's the winner standing in between those standards. It is Billy Tumi and Thomas. You see him getting that first place ribbon there. And here it comes, the trophy. Something that's been a part of the story for many years here. Oh, don't drop it. I think that one will definitely be empty tonight.
Yeah, Billy is really thrilled to win a class in this main ring, and he's won so many good classes, but it's always special at Hickstead. And that horse really jumped a great round.
Yeah.
It did it comfortably, really. I know it was only hundredths of a second, but in terms of its performance,
it didn't look difficult.
It looked pretty comfortable, yeah. Has got real range in the jump and real stride. And it proved it's the second class he's won. He won the qualifier on Thursday, so it was well planned. And he had a great position to win the class from. But you make that. It's not luck. You actually make that yourself.
He's a real talent. There's Shane Green.
Lily Keenan did a lovely round really, that set the standard. And
Yeah, I think
she's
it
very
did.
smooth, real quality round, and only sort of just over a couple of seconds slower, but lovely to watch.
Lily's always been a great rider, but since she's been with Keenan, she really has lots of fire in her belly, and you can see she's really kind of tackling those tracks and really pushing on now.
Yeah, she certainly looks like she's, so many good lady riders at the moment. So you can see how they produce them. Really, they come from equitation and they get great experience, and to be in Europe jumping is fantastic. It really does make a rider.
Beezy Madden, of course, who had a great win here last year.
Lauren Huff, who's here, Laura Kraut. They've got real strength in the lady division in America. Jess Springsteen and Reed Kessler.
It's girl power in the USA at the moment. Right, we're going to send it back down to Hannah Wilkes as we see our winner, Billy Tumi, enjoying his victory gallop here in the British Speed Classic.
Well, enjoying that lap of honour, he truly is as he comes speeding past me. A fantastic performance from Billy Tumi this afternoon. He really is on top form heading into the big one tomorrow, the Grand Prix of the weekend, the King George V Gold Cup. Join us for that tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. on Sky Sports 5.